Hey, yo. What's up, guys? It's the solo day time. What? Mike's going to be running a little late, so he asked me to take over for y'all a little bit. All right. All right. That's fine. Let's get into it. Can you guys see me? Is it looking good? Looking okay? How we doing? Don't you say that, Dylan. It was not a jump scare. This is my face. Don't talk trash. Right? You guys? Hello. Okay, good. I was just making sure. I didn't know anybody. He got come over his pants. Yeah, he did. Oh, I gotta be careful, guy. I'm not allowed to say dirty words within the first 10 minutes. I've never done a solo, right? So I gotta be careful. What's up, Chase? What's up, tree bending with the wind? I like your name. It's very ancient, very powerful. What up, Greg? Hello, Dogtown. It's nice to be here, finally to shine in the limelight. No, I'm not the one late. I know. I'm just gonna let y'all gather in a little bit. I was right about Thunderbolts. Man, I'm telling you, like the buzz is good. The buzz is good. I hope it's going to be awesome. I know there's some trash talk about it. I've read some stuff, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I got a couple articles pulled up here so we can talk about that later in just a few. Go White Power Ranger. You in charge? Nah, it's not. I'm not like Mike's just running late. He's probably queer, probably. Yeah, but will Marvel take the right lessons? Tomo says. I don't know. We'll see. Like, well, here's the thing. I don't know. I like here. You know what? I'll just go ahead. Let me see if I can do this right. Can you guys see this? What? Hold on. You guys can see this, right? Okay, I'm gonna assume you can. How did? Okay, cool. So the early reactions to Thunderbolt. I'll stop. I'll stop doing that right now. I'll just stop. Oh, it froze. Oh, what's up, Pat? Okay, never mind. I won't do it. I'll wait till. I'll wait. Man, hold on a second. Okay, wait. Okay, I don't know what. All right, you know what? I'm just not going to share the screen. I don't know. Maybe it's just not. It can't handle the power. Have you Ice Skate? Have I played the remastered? No, I haven't. Oblivion. I want to. I haven't got to it, but I do have it downloaded. I'm ready to go with it. But yeah, sorry guys. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I just don't. All right, I'm just not going to do anything. I have so much to talk about too, and I can't show the screen. Okay, well, fine. You know what? I can memorize it. So here's the okay. So Thunderbolts, based on that article, was saying that people that have come out and seen it are they're genuinely excited. They're saying it's just now. I don't know. It's a little bit extreme. People are saying it's better than or it's good of a Marvel film since Endgame. I don't believe you. Yeah, I can only. I know. I do. I don't know. I can only load one screen. But so I am excited about Thunderbolts. I didn't when I first saw the trailer for it, I thought it was going to be stupid. It didn't have any, and it just seemed like an over CGI slop. But based on what I've seen, so like the newer trailers that have come out with it, I think it's going to be good. And I do like the Sentry a lot. And if they handle that character well, it's going to be interesting. Oh yeah, man, spark that J in my honor. And then what else was I going to talk about? Oh, okay, guys, listen to this. Listen to my face. Did you guys see this this article that came out? Okay, this is spoiler. So if you don't want to hear this, again, it's all rumor. Well, it's not rumor. The guy said it, but it could be just speculation on his part. But it's about Avengers: Secret War. Did you guys hear about Chris Claremont? Did you watch the new Weapons show? I haven't watched it yet. Did you guys hear about this? So here's the thing. Chris Claremont is the X-Men guy, right? When it comes to Marvel comic books, he's the guy. Like he started out in 1975. He wrote like the first Avengers annual. Like he created characters like Rogue, Mr. Sinister. He's done like the Dark Phoenix saga. He did the Days of Future Past. He's like the guy at Marvel, right? Okay. I'm just making sure you guys okay. But again, this is, if it's spoilers, I don't know this anyhow. He was at a recent Comic-Con in Huntington, Chris Claremont. And again, this guy is like the X-Men guy, and they probably did go to him for advice. They probably Marvel does, or Marvel has in the past. He doesn't write for X-Men anymore, but he kind of works in the background for Marvel comic books. But dude, this guy went full blown and like laid out everything that was going on with Marvel or with Secret Wars. He basically said, let me see here. But like he spoiled left and right. Well, here's one thing he did say. He said that Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr., was going to be playing multiple roles in the he's the guy behind the guy who's behind the guy. That's who he is. He's the guy in the chair. But he said that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be playing multiple roles, not just Dr. Doom, but he was going to be suited up as Iron Man again, as well as some other characters in the film. Crazy. Chris Evans, he also mentioned that was going to be playing a younger Steve Rogers. He was also going to be playing an evil version of Captain America, which I think he means Captain Hydra. When, in the comic books, Steve Rogers becomes a Hydra agent, or he was a Hydra agent. So he's going to be playing that role, and maybe even the Human Torch. I don't know. And then he talked about, he said that Wolverine was back and that he kills someone important. He didn't know, or he didn't have the scoop on who he kills, but supposedly Wolverine kills someone very important. And then Elizabeth Olsen is supposedly coming back based on Chris's reveals as a Scarlet Witch, but a good Scarlet Witch. Yeah. Hey. Hey, Dunn, you missed all the fun. We was just talking.
No. What happened? Did we?
No, I was just telling him about that. Chris Claremont. And I tried to share my screen to read this article, and it froze. And I'm like, well, I can't leave, so I'm just going to stay here.
I apologize for my tardiness. I was having sex with a man, and they're greedy.
I could smell the gay on you when you walked in here. Your breath still stinks of cum. I can smell
strong. I had a lot. I might have to get my stomach pumped later.
I didn't know. Well, I didn't spoil it. I didn't spoil Doomsday. I said it might not be true, and I said it was speculative, and I did, and it was not Doomsday. It's Secret Wars. Okay, it's after Doomsday, so I'm spoiling Secret Wars.
I was gone for 5 minutes. What did you do?
Hey, listen. If you got I'm just telling you, it's speculation. This guy, I don't know what happened, dude. I don't know if this dude was drunk and he was just like, "Fuck it," and he's like, "I don't even care about my job anymore." Did you hear about this?
I don't know. I have no idea what happened.
Okay, well, I'm not going to share my screen anymore because as soon as I shared my screen, I started freezing up. And then somebody, Iron Wolf, I think, made fun of me. It was like, Jake can only load one screen. LOL. I was like, yeah, well, I got to do what I got to do.
It's like as a dad would he gets left with the kids for a few minutes, and they're like, he tried to feed us barbecue and brisket and beer.
Okay, well, let me clarify, Bane. It's not a rumor. I meant like it was the guy that was speculating. It was rumored. I mean, I'm only saying it's rumors because he's saying it, but I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe they fed him misinformation. I don't know, or he heard. I don't know. Maybe I used the wrong word. Sue me. I got it right here. Let's try this again. I'm gonna try it one more time and see if it works this time. All right, present your wieners. Share screen.
It's not the rumor. It's not.
All right, right here. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a sexy suit, dude. Look at that. Look at that suit, Captain Hydra.
I like the green eyes on old Robert.
So so this is the article, and again, I'll set it up for you. So since you were late, and I will tell the class once again. Okay, so this is what it was. All right, so Chris Claremont. I'm going to keep saying his name wrong. I apologize. I haven't had an adult beverage yet. Chris Claremont. Who was the guy behind the X-Men for years, dude. And this guy was the go-to guy for X-Men comic books, right? In 1975, he's the one that created Rogue, Mr. Sinister. He created the Dark Phoenix saga. He created Days of Future Past. He created like some big moments in the X-Men universe. And most people just go to him as the godfather of the X-Men. Not like, obviously he didn't create the X-Men, Stan Lee did, but he's the guy. Like he's the man. and he worked for Marvel for years doing this. Anyhow, he was at a recent comic convention in Huntington, and he was up on stage, and he literally just like, dude, went full out. Somebody asked him about Secret Wars, and he was just like, spoiler my ass. Like, it was just going crazy. So this is the article. So this is what it was. Whoops. Legendary X-Men comic book writer Chris Claremont had apparently dropped massive leaks and spoilers for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Okay, so maybe he did drop a spoiler for Doomsday. Claremont, who is known as the most famous X-Men comic writer of all time, recently appeared at a panel at the Huntsville Pop Culture Expo 2025 and talked about the MCU. We can guess that Claremont might know specific details about the flicks due to getting credit for writing the X-Men, similar to how Jim Starlin knew about Thanos in Infinity War and Endgame. Marvel Studios announced the cast of Avengers. Okay, we all know that. So here's obvious spoiler warning that follows. Avengers Secret War spoiler. Robert Downey Jr. playing multiple characters. Claremont drops that bomb. Robert Downey Jr. is playing multiple characters. It's already known RDJ will be back as Dr. Doom, but Claremont says Robert Downey Jr. is playing 4 characters. He says, quote, has anyone seen the commercial for the 50 superhero, 4 supervillain, not X-Men movie almost? It sounds like you better believe it. The Marvel movie that's in production now. I mean, we've got Robert Downey Jr. playing evil person, Iron Man. Wait, that's confusing. And then he's playing 2 other roles.
This guy doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about.
Chris Evans also playing multiple characters. Likewise, it has been rumored Chris Evans is back. And according to Claremont, Evans will also be playing multiple characters, including Captain Hydra. And then he says, quote, but then Chris Evans is playing Captain America, a young Captain America, evil Captain America, Captain Hydra, or something like that. Lord Hydra, or whatever. It's like, why didn't they just cast the original Avengers as all the characters, villains, assistant sidekicks? He goes back and he goes, well, I'm not. So he says also, apparently denying it for at least a year. What's her face is coming back. He's like, Widow, not the Widow, Scarlet. No, not Scarlett Johansson. What's her face? You had that giant rock fall on Scarlet. Oh, Elizabeth, Scarlet Witch. So he confirms Elizabeth Olsen's coming back. He says Famke Jensen is coming back as the Phoenix, but not like Jean Grey, but as a good Phoenix. He also says that they're bringing back Psylocke, but he's saying that what's her hotness name? Olivia.
She looks like she's about to stick a finger in your butt.
I'm not looking at her face. But Psylocke. So he also said apparently Psylocke is coming back, but she's no longer Asian. She's still wearing the same outfit, so I don't know what that's all about. He said that big Wolverine.
I heard they were Asian.
Big Wolverine info. He's Chris Claremont continued dropping big bomb. This guy just did not care, dude. But interestingly enough, he says this one is a rumor. So maybe it's discussion he had with people in the industry, as I believe it hasn't hit the net as of yet. Claremont says Wolverine kills off an important character. And he says, there's a rumor that Wolverine's going to kill somebody important, which I'm sitting here thinking, and this is actually smart. Why are you going to do this and make us wait for 3 years for the first X-Men movie? Why don't you just make the first X-Men movie? Who cares about the Avengers? And then there was applause. It's been only 20 years. Get it?
All right. This guy's smoking some hot
and then
cheese.
Fantastic Four, he says, and the FF are coming back. Oh, wait, they're already back, or will be already back in July. And it'll establish that the FF will have been back for 3 years when they run into Galactus. And it's like, yeah, but should he be taller in the comic? Like, God, whatever. It's what to deal with Marvel continuity. And
also Han Solo dies in Star Wars.
I knew it.
Everyone was wondering. Oh no! The sharing of the screen was too strong. You flew too close to the sun, Miguel. And Jay froze right at the point where Rex Manning pulls it out in front of Liv Tyler, and he's like, all right, then. He unzips it in front of his little lunch, and he's like, let's have it. That's what Jay just froze as right there. Apparently, the Ethernet is not strong at 6:30. There he is. I see you. You froze like you just whipped it out.
Man.
You were like, look upon your work, Charles.
I don't know. It's still doing the thing.
Well, I got you now. Like you're clear and crisp now.
Maybe I don't know what I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Every time, dude. Every friggin' time it's happening. I just can't share the screen. I don't know. Maybe it's doing something with that. Anyhow, there's a guy in my apartment building that's vacuuming outside. He's doing it. He's probably on his phone. He's interfering with my Wi-Fi.
Fucker.
But I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm on Ethernet core. But anyway, this Chris Claremont guy, those are some big juicy spoilers right there if it's true. Yeah. And they have come to him in the past and asked his opinion on things. So it's possible. I don't know how old the guy is. I don't know if he was just like, I don't care, or no one told me not to say things, or he just had a brain fart and he was just letting all this out. But it does make sense. Some of what he said, I could see that. Robert Downey Jr. playing 4 different characters and Chris Evans coming back and playing multiple characters.
It does make sense. But yeah, the way he was talking, he kind of sounds like a McFarlane type that would just go out and say some random shit and like have no actual idea what he's talking about. You know, just the way it reads when he's like, who cares about the Avengers? It's like, all right, clearly you have a personal preference here and you have an axe to grind.
Well,
so
based on what he was saying, I don't know. It doesn't sound bad. Whether or not they're going to revamp. I mean, by the way, this movie doesn't come out until 2027. It is in the early holy butt crack stages of the development. So they have time.
They handed that motherfucker a mic and he was like, Melissa, it's Ace.
Yeah, he was like,
he just went right into it.
Digging. And I don't care who knows about it. But yeah, but this guy is like legend, dude. Like this guy is a legendary like writer for Marvel. And so he's definitely going to get in trouble. Like if this is true, what he was saying, he's definitely in trouble, like hardcore. And I don't know. I mean, like I said, the only thing that the Fantastic Four thing, but I will say one thing about I agree with him wholeheartedly. Whether or not what he's saying is true, whether it's all speculation or whatever, I don't care if they just fed him a fake script. But the whole thing about him saying, "Why don't we just get the X-Men movie going?" That's 100% accurate. Why are you playing these dance arounds? I don't.
Dude,
that's what I would do.
They announced they bought that shit like 4 fucking years ago.
I know, but
right?
the first thing I would have done, I mean, of course, what Marvel got some breathing room with Wolverine, Deadpool. It gave them some bouncy castles. And then as soon as that was over, they're like, well, we're going to announce Doomsday and Secret Wars. We're bringing back Robert Downey and Chris Evans and all those guys, even though Chris Evans is still rumored. He's not rumored. He's going to be there. But they're bringing all their A-team back because they know how badly it's failing without those guys. What you could have done, though, is you could have said, hey, you know what we should do? We should relaunch X-Men,
dude.
After Deadpool Wolverine.
If I'm in that office and I have the X-Men in front of me, I'm like, we're going with this. Like, this is way more interesting. Like, show of hands, by the way. Honest to God, think back before the first Avengers movie came out. Show of hands. Did you give more of a fuck as a comic book fan or as a youngster about the X-Men or about the Avengers?
Well, I was always an Avengers guy.
I'm 100% X-Men, so that's why I asked. There's Nat, and it's driving me fucking crazy. But I'm way more interested in what's going on with the X-Men.
I think the X-Men have better stories. I don't think the Avengers got good stories until after they died, after Onslaught killed them all, and then they came back. I think their stories got better after that. But that was it. After that, I really got into
them both, Michael. You don't get to say both.
But the X-Men are cool. I mean, they got way better stories and cooler characters, and the conflict is what makes it interesting. But yeah, it's insane to me. It's insane to me that like you said, like you have that in front of you and you choose to move backward and get. I mean, and Robert Downey Jr. obviously is amazing and Chris Evans is amazing, but it's like, why do you go backwards and get these stars that you're going to pay like $50 million to get them back on screen to save your company or to save your storylines when all you've got to do is launch the X-Men and do it right? And you're good. You're golden.
Dude, not just the X-Men either, but I think what they did was they built up the Avengers beautifully, right? Like, I mean, in game, the way they built that up was just a massive, just special thing. However, sometimes you shouldn't go and do the same thing you just did again. What they should have done after Endgame and after Tony Stark was dead, they should have started focusing on a different level of stuff, which is like, hey, do a Spider-Man Punisher team up. How about that? Do a Wolverine Cyclops team up movie. There's so many different things. Do the X-Men, do whatever, but like make it a little bit more simplistic. There's so many stories that they could tell that they don't have to hire 20 huge name actors and do 3 hours of crazy CGI shit. They could tell like 10 to 20 hour and a half, hour 45 minute like team up stories that would just be like esoteric stories that would be so cool. I mean, honest to God, having just a movie about Deadpool and the X-Men, the whole X-Men team, you could do 3 movies on that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they want to. I think that Marvel, Kevin Feige, is more interested in not doing street level heroes for some reason. I think they sell better personally. I think street level heroes are cooler and they have more interesting story. Punisher himself has got an amazing backstory and a lot more of a relatable guy than a guy that can fart thunder from his crack and fly around in the sky. I'm not saying those aren't cool stories. Of course they are. But at the end of the day, it's just that there's something about someone like Punisher or Daredevil or even Ghost Rider to some extent, even though he's got magical powers that you can understand. Like Ghost Rider sold his soul to save his dad from cancer and the devil tricked him. Devil went down to Georgia. Johnny Appleseed got tricked. But like those are just more relatable characters. But anyway, it's just insane to me that Marvel just doesn't understand the fans. They don't understand what the fans want. What the fans want is they want to see the X-Men come back and eventually set up for an X-Men versus Avengers. That would be what's up. And then you have Galactus later on down the road.
Yeah,
that's what you should do. And then you can play around. By the way, you can also do now. You can get into the Onslaught. Dude, Onslaught storyline in the comic books in the mid '90s was some of the coolest shit they ever did. I loved that storyline because that brought everybody together. That brought the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Avengers, Alpha Flight. Nobody cares, but they were in on it. It was Canada, 51st state. But that's Canada's premier team.
The only true tool Marvel has against the superhero fatigue battle is to switch it up and do something different. And like they went backwards. They were like, well, actually, let's try to make 10 years of movies about ancillary characters like the fucking Eternals that no one actually gives a shit about. We made it work for Guardians. So let's try to do that 10 times in Shang-Chi and all this other bullshit no one really cares about, and just squeeze the tit when they should have just like gone a little bit more simple. Their best fight, dude, against superhero fatigue is all the untold stories, all that cool shit you just mentioned that they haven't covered yet. And instead of going into territories they haven't covered yet, they're like, let's just squeeze more out of that last shit, and it makes no sense to me.
Well, Joe's got a good point. Hey, Chili Beans. Joe Pinachakchi, I can't say your last name, dude, says X-Men is Disney's fail-safe if everything else fails. That's 100%. That's their gold bar in the bank. When the economy is this tariff is out of control, don't worry, we invested in gold. We got the X-Men in the vault. That's probably true. That is actually very true. If it all goes south, they could easily just have a windfall with the X-Men.
Let me ask you this too. Also, do you think it's Feige and Marvel going like, we don't like? Let me put it to you this way: when a new GM gets hired for NFL franchise, and immediately they start looking to replace the quarterback because, like, I didn't pick that guy, so I don't want him to succeed. I wonder if Marvel's like, X-Men was Fox's thing, so we don't want to showcase it because it's not our thing.
No,
maybe it's something like that.
I think it's somewhat like that, but that would go with reason because of how they canceled the Netflix Daredevil and restarted their own Daredevil, but they kept pretty much the same aesthetic. I don't think it's that. I think what they want to do is they want to take what Marvel or Fox couldn't do and make it better. And also look what they did with Sony. They worked out a deal so they could make a better Spider-Man movie, even though let's be honest here, Tobey Maguire is goated in Spider-Man 2. It just is what it be. But either way, I think it's not the fact that they're jealous or there's some kind of like hidden agenda where we don't really want to rely on that. I mean, because it's still a Marvel product. Kevin Feige is in charge of Marvel. It's Marvel's X-Men. I just think that they're, I don't know. Who is it? Tomos says, imagine if Disney fucks up X-Men. I can't. I mean, that's not like a stretch of the imagination. It used to be unheard of back in the early times when Marvel was starting out with Iron Man and such. You'd be like, no way. Now,
based on
easy.
What I've heard, aside from what you just said earlier, which does sound kind of cool, but based on what I've heard, they're casting like, let's bring me the Stranger Things cast, and like picking names and like going back to the first class way of like, let's hire children because the last, like, for whatever reason, they're cheaper, they'll last longer. But what I've seen with what Marvel's done with the X-Men so far, let's be honest, when you look at it, it's been pretty fucking shitty. They did some stuff with Sam Raimi's movie, The Doctor Strange 2, and they bring in Professor X, and they messed around with Krasinski. I know it's not X-Men, but like everything Marvel's done with the X-Men so far has been pretty lackluster, aside from Deadpool Wolverine, which was not ran by Marvel, that was ran by everyone else.
The Sam Raimi Doctor Strange, that was completely, he was shackled completely by Marvel. That movie should have been a horror movie. That should have been borderline rated R or maybe gone into rated R. He was shackled. I don't think they wanted Sam Raimi to be Sam Raimi making those movies. It just wasn't what it was. But yeah, I also think they weren't really putting their full effort in even premiering some of those X-Men, like the Professor Xavier showing up in Doctor Strange 2. And you hear that when he shows up. I think it was just more of a nod and be like, haha, a cheeky thing, because they weren't really serious about keeping him around because they kill him right away. But again, it is very, I am looking forward to seeing an X-Men movie with Marvel backing it with all their money and influence, but it is very, very possible they could screw it up. If it's bad casting, bad writers, they try to lean too far into some kind of messaging bullshit, we are screwed. It is bad.
Mhm.
And I don't want, like, I don't know. The easiest thing to do for if Marvel was smart and they're like, I want to make money, I just want to print it. All you got to do is go back to the X-Men animated cartoon and just make stories, make it like that. Bring in like those guys. Bring in like adult X-Men, like Wolverine, Colossus, all those guys, Magneto, obviously, Cyclops, not when they're young and starting out. I don't need an origin story of the X-Men. I really don't. I already know who they are.
Just fuck, please, no.
Just put them up in there, and they're already established. They've already been around for a few years, and then you got all their like exciting characters already on screen, and let's go have fun. All right, guys, we can win.
I agree. No more origin stories, not unless you're bringing up a new character from the dust. Like, we're done with origin stories. Like, guys, a lot of us read the comics. A lot of us watched the animated series. A lot of us have been watching the movies for 20 goddamn years at this point. Please, God, don't make us watch origin stories.
I hope, though, one of my biggest hopes is that
a man will sleep with you.
Well, no, I've already done that. That's already off my bucket list. But no, the X-Men movie, when it comes out, when it finally is arriving in theaters, I hope to God, dude, they really do this. That they use the theme song from the cartoon. That's all I want. I want the X-Men cartoon music. Dude, that should get you hype. It gets you going. It does something to your soul. You're like, yes, Wolverine.
I love it.
And then I think that, and also, please God, don't focus on just Wolverine. I love Wolverine. He's an awesome character. I know that he's basically everyone's favorite, but focus on Cyclops. Give me some Cyclops. Give me the 90s version of Cyclops with his big pectorals and his blue suit and that yellow bandolier with the yellow underwear, and let me see Cyclops do some damage. Come on. Anyway, but we'll see. By the way, speaking of which, another thing that came out, did you hear? We're gonna stay in the same realm of comic books, but did you hear about the Superman leak that's coming out about James Gunn and what that's going? Oh my God, did you hear about this?
I heard a tip. Just the tip, and basically my reaction to it was, oh my God, something crazy awful happened. And then when I saw what it was, I was like, you guys are just fucking freaking out over nothing.
Yeah, but it is. It's not like, I don't think the movie's going to be tarnished necessarily, but it is stupid. It is. If it's true, it's dumb as hell. So the rumor came out. I don't know if it was a moviegoer or like an early test screener that leaked it. I don't know. James Gunn has not come out and shot this down yet. So I don't know if it's true. There was a thing going around. Somebody had revealed or leaked out that one of the story beats in the new Superman movie is Superman gets upset because someone is saying bad things about him online. # super shit is what they're saying. And it's revealed that Lex Luthor, but Lex Luthor has created or whatever space monkeys or some kind of alien monkeys that are online typing # super shit and talking trash stupid. On Superman.
I didn't hear the space monkeys part.
Yeah, that's what it was. He's like, so, and then there's another element to it that's even dumb. Well, about the same level of dumb. And they were like, what the fuck is this? Because that's like in the trailer when you see Superman, like, oh God, and he's like, they're like, don't tell me that's because you read some mean comments on Facebook or something.
Hey, people online can say mean shit.
No, I know that, but it's so out. Like, well, now this is what it is they're saying that this is because James Gunn. Remember when he was fired because of the mean tweets that he said years ago, and he was canceled. Yeah, this is his revenge on the people that canceled him by calling them basically like just a bunch of monkeys that were online screaming nonsense at him. Well, now what do you mean? It was just that's just oh my God, get your thumb out of your crack hole.
But hey, no, you gave Sinners an 8.5. I just, you're already on the list. So just be careful with what you say.
Well, no, listen. The thing about it is, though, someone had mentioned that it was silver, like it was supposed to be Silver Age, like hilarity. But here's I read this. This other guy covered it, and I agree with him. He was like, yeah, but that didn't work for Batman and Robin when they were trying to go for more of the goofy Silver Age type of laughter. It failed completely. Nobody accepted it. That is a bad direction to go in. If you're like, okay, well, we're just going to make it kind of over the top, cheesy, and corny, and have Superman getting very upset at everyone because it's like he doesn't wash his red underwear. It stinks. I saw a crack. I saw his crack because there was a hole in his underwear. I also saw a butt streak. He doesn't wipe either. And it's like, and then the big reveal is that he's literally hiring or creating these monkeys in a lab that are online screaming at him and saying like, "Hey, you suck, Superman, super shit #." And he's like, "Oh wow, that really sucks."
I'll say a couple things about this. Number one, what I saw, and I vaguely saw it, was that this rumor comes from an account called My Time to Shine, which is just like, from what I've seen, they say some crazy shit that makes no sense. It's like one of those, oh, who was that guy that was like Scoopy Scoop? I'm Mr. Scoop Scoop, and like would say dumb shit. It's like that. But on the other side of that, like, I will say, we don't know what the tone of this movie is. So like, whatever this is, as dumb as it might sound, if true, we have no idea what the tone it is. It could fit into the tone of the movie for sure. But I will say one thing though. You know what fucking chaps my ass that I do know that seems weird to me is, and I'm rooting for James Gunn. I'm a James Gunn fan. I hope the movie's fucking awesome. I think people who are shitting on the movie, and that's not what you're doing. I know exactly what you're talking about. But there's a big faction of online people who are shitting on the movie just because of the Snyder Cut movement. And it's like, guys, let go.
Yeah.
Let go of the road.
Yeah,
I get it.
No, I personally I'm reporting what I heard.
No.
But
I'm not talking about you.
No. I know there's an element, there's a camp of people that want this movie to fail simply because it's not Zack Snyder in the director's seat. I get that, but that's not what this is just a stupid part of the story if it's true. But someone did say earlier, they were like, what if this is just like fake leaked whatever to kind of nip the leaks in the the butt. Just faking it or like letting it, maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying what's been out. That's what that was on the news streak.
No, but what I was gonna say was, apart from all that, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. As much as I'm rooting for James Gunn, and I hope this movie's awesome, I really do. Is it weird to you a little bit that like every single piece of promotion they've released about this, James Gunn's face is like hogging like this much of the camera? Like every single thing, dude. Every time they show a character behind the scenes footage, they have to have James Gunn in the photo. Every time they release a clip, James Gunn's got to introduce it. I will be honest with you. It seems like he's like going out of his way to like put his face on everything about this movie. Like, just show the behind the scenes clip of whatever. Like, it doesn't always have to be like, you're the director of the movie, dude. You're the director. All right, be the director. You don't always have to be face first, the star of everything. That's just, I mean, that's what I'm getting. I could be way off, but
yeah,
I have noticed that.
By the way, so it's like, what's really in the can? I'm not. I swear, it's regular diet soda. I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk, and I'm not like pooping on it either. I'm just saying, like, that's what I heard. And so someone said they were like,
happy birthday, Andromeda.
Happy birthday. Says Fantastic Four looks better. Dude, to be honest with you all, I think Fantastic Four not going to be that good. And then I'm kind of nervous about that, and I'm kind of nervous about Superman 2. The one movie I'm not nervous about, which I never thought I'd say it, is I'm actually looking forward to seeing Thunderbolts tomorrow, on Friday. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that because
we're gonna go see that together on a date.
Yeah, we're gonna go hold hands and eat popcorn, but the popcorn's gonna have a hole cut out the bottom so Mike can like touch my wiener when it gets boring. Nope, too bad. I said it first. Shotgun.
It's my turn. It's my turn.
I don't know. Superman. I hope it's good, dude. But if it fails, it is gonna be real bad for Warner Brothers. Real bad, because they need this movie to do very, very well for them to relaunch their brand, to relaunch their universe. And also, I think that if Fantastic Four fails, it's just par for the course right at this point for Marvel. Marvel's banking everything on Doomsday. Let's just be honest. They really are. I'm not saying that they don't need Fantastic Four to do well. They do, but they really are banking it on Doomsday. I think Thunderbolts is the dark horse that might do well, that they're not expecting. I think right now, let me see, the projections for this movie is, I think there are only
7.
Thunderbolts is projected to make up to 73 million domestically and between 160 and 175 worldwide during its first 3 days in theaters. But I mean, now to be honest with you, it's also going up against Sinners, which is still doing well, and Minecraft is dominating. So,
but by the way, those are both Warner Brothers films. So like, I understand that everybody's like, Warner Brothers needs Superman, and it does. But I think that we're overestimating that a little bit because they just had a huge windfall of money because of Minecraft and Sinners. Warner Brothers is actually, in this current moment, 4 weeks ago, maybe not, but in this current climate, Warner Brothers is actually doing great.
Yeah, as far as movies themselves, but they want their superhero thing to take off. Now, we've talked about this multiple times until like I'm bored of talking about it. But like we've already, the way that Warner Brothers could establish themselves as different from Marvel and do very well in the superhero genre, in the superhero spandex pants, is if they would just make those one-off, like those DC Vertigo, like one-off movies. You know, like the story, like I let Mike borrow the graphic novel where Batman's a vampire, or or Red Sun, or any of those stuff. I think those would do very well, and people would be like, yeah, that's something different, that's something cool, that's something not Marvel. But they want to be Marvel so bad, and it's sometimes that formula, like they already were different. Do they? And again, I'm not going to get back into it because we got we got some show to cover. But the Snyder stuff was already different. They already have that, and then it wasn't good enough. And so there you go. I mean, I just.
Well, and not just that, dude, but like Warner Brothers seems to find a way to fuck up. Like they had Joker, right? Absolute fucking banger. And then they went and did Joker 2, and they just pooped on it all, right? They had that, and they just went out like it's basically the Tommy Boy skit when he's like, you know, I have my Thale, and my Thale. Like,
yeah,
I killed my Thale.
And I take my pretty little pet, like
yeah, they had their standalone thing. Batman, same thing. They had a beautiful thing with Batman, and then it's like, oh, we're gonna do Batman 2 now, and now we don't have a script, and now it's delayed and delayed and delayed. But also, we're doing the James Gunn universe. Like they can't find a fucking path to take because I just think that David Zaslav is a goddamn brainless fucking idiot. You know,
I don't know
what
I don't know. Like. I don't know what Italian food has to do with what we're talking about, but you're right. I don't know that, but yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. But you know, I'm gonna keep. I have more hope. I really do. I have more hope for Superman than I do with Fantastic Four at this point, based on all this stuff that was coming out about Fantastic Four and about Joseph Quinn and the pussy ass ways that he was talking about Johnny Storm. Like he's a womanizer, and that's just not sexy. I'm like, you're already changing the character out the bat. That's stupid as hell. The whole thing with I don't know. I just have real bad feelings about Fantastic Four with some of the stuff that was coming out based on some of the actors' reactions to what their characters meant and were. By the way, I was going to tell you, if you guys get a chance, well, this is for you. I just watched the interview. You'd probably like it. It's an hour and 18 minutes. Theo Vaughn interviewed Ben Affleck. It's a really good interview. Really good interview. He actually opened up. You could tell that he was having fun with it, and really interesting stuff. If you get a chance to watch it.
I'm not the biggest. I don't hate Theo Vaughn at all. I just don't enjoy his content, but I do love me some Ben Affleck.
Well, Ben Affleck actually opened up. It was actually pretty interesting because he didn't feel like the stuffy, like normal interviews and stuff, and it was pretty interesting to hear from him about certain things. And he asked him some. I always wonder too, like how he said, how long does it take to edit a movie? Because you know he's a director, Ben Affleck is, and he's like he said 26 fucking weeks, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. By the way, I just watched. I just went back the other night, and it was funny because I did it on a. There was a day where this is like a week and a half ago or something like that, but there was a day drinking day that took place, family occasion, you know, day drinking day, and it was like 6:30 p.m. and I'd already been drinking since like noon or whatever. And
functional.
Where's the footsteps coming? Who's in here?
A ghost.
Hello?
It's Kevin Feige.
Dude, my house is getting more and more haunted by the minute.
Coming to get you.
But like, I sat down and I was like, you know what I'm in the mood to watch? I'm going to watch The Way Back. And I took that film in again. Ben Affleck's The Way Back about his drinking issues or whatever. Not his specifically, but dude, what a film. What a great film.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Also, I watched The Accountant 2 today. Dude, I'm like, oh my God, those movies are. I know you haven't seen The Accountant, the first Accountant movie. They're so good, dude. The second one is so good. Him and John Bernthal, it's like a buddy cop movie. They're so funny.
Yeah,
you'd love it if you.
He talked about. He
adore that movie if you watched it.
Yeah, he talked about The Accountant. He said I know that some people will use like you promote movies or whatever, and you kind of skirt around because I think Theo Vaughn asked him something along the lines like, if you know the movie's not good, like how do you? And he's like, well, you don't come out and say it, but you kind of skirt around it where people kind of like get the wink that it's not that great. And he's like, I've been a part of projects that weren't that great, but he goes, The Accountant is really good, and he was explaining what it was about, and he's like, he goes, Ben Affleck actually said The Accountant 2 is better than The Accountant 1. That's what he said. He said it's got more, it's funnier, it's got more like cooler moments in it. I don't know, he liked it better, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good interview. You should watch it.
I will know because I will watch that interview. But like, yeah, that movie's so good, dude. I gotta show you this, by the way. Very excited to share this with you guys because I know that a lot of you guys are wrestling fans. That's why we weren't allowed to do a stream on WrestleMania. We're still mad at you guys about that. But I'm kidding. But like,
by the way, somebody just came in here. They were like, we watched the movie. It was like, Until Dawn was great.
Some people like poop. I just dog sat a dog and then took him home and forgot to put his gate up. And I had to put his gate up because they have a cat and he likes to go into the cat's room and eat the cat turds. And if you like to eat cat turds, who am I to judge you?
Mm.
Who am
It
I to
is what
judge
it
you?
is.
Maybe you like cat turds.
Maybe it's protein.
CM Punk, I did not know this. He's currently trying to petition Netflix for a third season of Heels.
Let it happen. I don't. Yeah.
We need it.
Let it happen. If you guys don't know, we have championed Heels forever about how good of a show. It's so fucking good, dude. It's so good. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, there's so much. There's amazing acting. There's amazing acting in it. There's amazing storylines in it. It's just so good, and it shows you a different side of the business as far as wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan, that you're like, damn, that's really cool. I loved it, dude. I think it's so good, and I'm glad but it's not. He's not just the one. I mean, I know that Stephen Amell.
Every time that guy speaks, I seem to like him more and more. Like I kind of like this dude a lot.
Yeah, I don't know anything really about him. I know that he had some problems in whatever that wrestling organization that he went to after WWE. AEW. Yeah, there were some problems. Yeah. But yeah, I hope it comes back to it. And Stephen Amell's also been trying to talk. He said that, and he does have a point. Stephen Amell a few months ago had mentioned that, well, he didn't think that there's no hope because he said, why would Netflix buy it? Right. I think it's on Netflix now. And then also, and then show it, keep showing it. Because he said if it sucked and he didn't think there was any hope for it, they would have just shelved it.
Well, that was the idea, right? So like Starz is notorious for having gold mines and then shitting on them. Evil Dead, same thing. Heels, same thing. You just can't, and that's why we hope to God that the Halloween TV series doesn't go to Starz, because even when they have something amazing and great, they can't seem to market it enough. They can't seem to get out there, which was the case for Heels. But like, it went to Netflix because they were like, Netflix was like, we'll buy it, and if it gets enough streams and enough motion, then maybe we'll consider doing a third season. But that was a losing effort because, like, dude, Netflix is all about what's trending. I know a lot of us aren't this way, but there's a lot of people in America and wherever else that they will not search through and find something. They pull up Netflix. They only look at what's trending, what the top 10 trending things are, because they want to be able to talk about it at the water cooler or whatever. They want to be able to talk about, well, what's this true crime, Casey Anthony, whatever. So when you bring a show over there that's been out for 2 years, it's not going to have that same hype. And you're going to get new people that discover it, sure. But essentially, really, it gets lost in the mix with everything else. I don't think that was ever a valid option, but I just think that's going to be one of those shows, dude. Just like Santa Clarita Diet, that could have been fucking great, and they just did not have the back.
I just hope there's at least some kind of surge in attention for this show to at least get one more season to wrap up the loose end that it leaves you with. Because it deserves it, dude. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, that show is so fucking good. That's the show that I wish that was everyone was talking about, and not like, Honey Boo Boo's, fucking bullshit that she's doing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always put out these shows like, oh yeah, American Idol season 28. Did you see that shit?
Yeah. In that same vein, though, I've not watched this yet. Have you watched the Smashing Machine trailer?
Dude,
yet?
I had it pulled up. And then my internet said, have a dildo instead.
Okay, but you didn't watch it yet.
I haven't watched it yet. I
was
going
to.
I was going to when you were gone. Then I was like, I'm glad I didn't, because my internet really would have taken a dump.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm excited. I wanted to save this for the live stream because I felt like it was all of our speed. The Smashing Machine, I think. Yeah. So, dude, this is. Listen, I think The Rock has a ton of talent. Like, you can see him when he goes off the cuff. I think he's really focused on people pleasing and making his brand as big as possible. So he does a bunch of Jumanji shit and, like, a bunch of, team ups with Kevin Hart, like cookie cutter shit. But I see talent in the fucking Rock, dude. So when you hear that he's going to be in a movie directed by the Safdie brothers, who directed Uncut Gems, which is, dude, you'd love that fucking movie if you watch it. So
I know.
good.
I got to watch it.
Where he actually is acting and like going for it. I'm super pumped about this. I haven't seen the trailer yet. We're gonna watch it together right now.
Let's watch.
Let's do it.
You know what? I saw the thing, the thumbnail. I thought it was Andre the Giant. I thought that's what he was playing.
Oh no, it's I think Mark Kerr, UFC legend Mark Kerr in the early days of UFC. Remember, dude, you remember the early days of UFC where it was all like DVDs and it had that same old logo? And remember Ken Shamrock was in that bitch. Ken Shamrock allegedly popped the dude's eyeball out of his head.
Oh, right? Yeah, I heard about that.
That's when it felt like this ECW kind of thing, but apparently it comes from that era. But here we go. Won't stop spinning, you fucking piece of shit.
Probably looking at my eyes.
How did that happen?
Well, have you ever heard of the Ultimate Fighting Championship?
That's The Rock,
UFC?
dude.
I know, it's crazy.
That's the bloody thing they're trying to ban.
This guy is the best he has ever
Looks
seen.
like Chris Brown with his wife.
Do you hate each other when you fight?
Absolutely not.
How do you know Mark Kirk?
The end is near.
Oh, we go way back. But he's a buddy of mine.
So I think
Come on, baby. Too much?
Never.
Too much?
No.
Please welcome in his octagon debut, Mark.
God damn, dude, look how big he is. That's all natural.
Winning is the best feeling there is.
Dude, that's Emily Blunt. That's Emily Blunt right there.
Damn.
Holy shit.
It's 40,000 people,
Yeah.
and they're cheering you on. There's no other high like it in the world. No contract, no money.
No money.
No.
Do you have any stronger pain medication?
Advil? Advil.
Advil?
Yeah.
Don, would you like
No.
They're handing them out like candy. Let's all get in. Everybody get in. Hey, Don, can you take this picture for us?
Yeah.
What are you thinking at the beginning of the fight?
It's simple. Am I going to hurt him before he hurts me?
Yes, there were times, I'm sure you. I'm in, dude. I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
This Grand Prix to crown the greatest fighter in the world. He has come back from the brink. Let's see if he can pull out a victory over Mark Coleman. Have you spoken to either about fighting such a good friend for a life-changing amount of money?
I faced it all.
I just need you to let me in.
I took the bull.
Always about you. Only about fighting you.
Let's fucking go.
I got chill bumps just now.
Big strong man. I love you.
I'm gonna fucking cry, dude.
Do
I'm
Academy
crying
Award
right now.
winning.
I
I'm
can
right.
want your autograph.
Sure, no problem. No fighting.
I'm gonna cry
Man,
right now.
it's gonna be awesome. It's
I
gonna
saw
be
you were
awesome.
crying. You were
No, it
crying, you
wasn't.
bitch.
No, it wasn't. It's
Yeah, you did.
allergies, idiot. My eyes were
Holy
sweating.
shit.
No, it looks really, dude. That looks amazing.
Wow.
It's got like warrior vibes to it. And then I don't know anything about the guy. I've never heard of him. And that's why I thought, like, when I saw the thumbnail, because he had the curly hair like Andre the Giant, I thought they were making a biopic about Andre the Giant, which actually would be really cool. But that looks amazing, dude. And I like A24 when it comes to films like this. They really can nail it. So I think they're going to do a good job. Yeah, I think they're going to do a great job. Rock going for an Oscar. I think it's got Oscar vibes to it.
Yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, like The Rock, I think I see it. I think he has that acting ability, but like he's just always focused on doing like this super premium, like, world ending shit. Like, but like, man, that is the kind of movie that we see. It's just like remember not Bloodsport, fucking Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal. Dude, that's up our alley. Growing up on Kickboxer, Bloodsport, shit like that, like we fucking love these kind of movies. And that The Fighter, Mark Wahlberg, also amazing.
Yeah.
There's almost not as much drama in anything in the entire world as there is in fighting movies. I'm so fucking jacked for that right now. I literally gave me goosebumps, man. Literally.
That's right. I'm going for it, guys. I'm going for it. You guys never knew. You guys never know. You never will. No, yeah, I think it looked incredible. I do. And then someone said from the Rock finally acting, or Jericho is saying Rock finally act. Yeah, for sure. I guess that was your follow up. Jay acting, kind of like Jay acting straight. But yeah, you're right. I think that the Rock or Dwayne Johnson has for a long time been chasing the Arnold Schwarzenegger or the Stallone thing. He wanted to be the next. Yeah, exactly. 100%. He wanted to be the next big thing. He wanted to be the next version of these action hero giants that were in the 80s and early 90s. And it worked to some degree, but it never, like, I'm glad that he's finally like, you know what, let me try a different angle and make it work. Kind of like what Batista did. Batista kind of did the same thing for a while, but then Batista decided like, hey, you know what, I can do the goofy shit, but I can also do like some kind of cool, like when he did that zombie movie, the Zack Snyder zombie movie was amazing.
Yeah.
Really well acted.
I agree. And also, Emily Blunt does look hot. She's giving
Yeah.
Rachel McAdams in Southpaw vibes.
Dude, you know what I thought? The first thing, her boobs, somebody's like, nice push up. I thought it was Sydney Sweeney. I was like, Sydney Sweeney.
Dude, Emily Blunt is smoking hot too. Like
She is
wow.
extremely hot. But yeah,
hey, I really have to pee. Have you peed yet? Because I'll let you pee first. I
God-
have to pee a lot, but I will let you pee first because I was late.
I gotta get my water in. I'm drinking this this shit right here.
Wild cherry.
Yeah,
Wild cherry.
Yeah.
Have a tinkle. Have a tinkle. See, he just took it. He just ran with it. I was like, I have to pee, but you can if you want. And he was just like, no thought. I'll go pee right now. You son of a bitch. He said, that's not a team player. Is it, Thor? Thor, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you would let me pee first, wouldn't you? You would. You'd let me pee first. And you would also let me. There's a dog over here. You guys can't see it. I got fucking, like, it's like, this is just every day, just all the time. Jealousy and envy. See, white and black can get along. All right. White and black can get along. You could watch The Accountant too and also enjoy Sinners, right? Right? Like it doesn't have to be one or the other. You see, look at these dogs. They love each other. They've almost murdered each other several times. So that's not really a fair, assumption. Don't use the world in verse to my dogs. Left side strong. That's right, Daniel. That's right. Remember the Titans should have ended racism. I don't know why the fuck it didn't, because it had all the right shit. But yet we didn't take any of those lessons in. Did we, Hella? Did we? No, we did not. We didn't. We didn't listen to Remember the Titans, the lessons it taught us. And now we're in the world that we're in. And it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Everybody wants to fight, and you guys want to fight. And it upsets me. Thor put a hole in your head one time. You know why? You know why? Because you were being a dick and it's not your fault. But also, you shouldn't have done that. And you're bad for that. But I love you both anyways. Now look at you kissing. Now they're making out with each other. It's fine.
Uh-oh.
Hey, man.
What did I walk into? Huh?
I don't know what's going on. Look, you're smelling his ear. I don't know what happened. I did it my way.
I was not pooping. I would not be. I take my time with my poops. I wouldn't have been back until the end of the show.
All right, now I gotta poop. I gotta pee. I don't have to poop.
Okay, well,
I poop, but I have to pee. I'll be right back.
By the way, obviously my stream is not gonna, or not the internet's not gonna do it. I was gonna show you guys the maybe when Mike gets back, it'll be better. The RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business new story trailer that dropped. Looking good. Want to play. You guys want some more of my wing sauce? I think I remember that. Yeah, you sure, man? If you want to send it, the show. I come. Yeah, I know exactly. Shelly's like, I saw some dogs making out. Yeah, exactly. It's weird. Dylan, have I played the new indie game? I started playing it. I think I got like an hour in. It was fun. It's not like, but it's not amazing or anything, but it was fun. I enjoyed it for so far. Expedition 33. That's another one. Dude, there's so many good games that are coming out, and it's so badass that it's on like Game Pass. So I'm definitely gonna play that as well. I heard a lot of good things about it because it's like an old school JRPG, right? My faves. Greg says I got it, but probably will never beat it. Take up. No, I can't do that. My pants are already off. What are you talking about? And it's made by former Ubisoft. Yeah, I know. It sounds cool, man. Jericho, I haven't played. I knew that was what we were going to ask about Oblivion. I haven't played it yet. I will. I'm totally going to play it because I mean that is like one of the most goated games of all time. Oblivion, one of the most goated games of all time. But I just got to find the time for it. I played it. I don't know how many hours I sank into that game when it first came out, but I'm 100% on board to playing it. I'll have to when I get a chance to, I will, because that's going to suck up all my energy. Everything. I'm going to put everything into that. I can't play another game until I finish RDR2. Oh, dude, I know that's another great one. I need to clone. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing, right? Like you have so many choices of games to play. It's not a bad thing to have, but yeah, right. And it feels like you have to clone yourself to play them all. Ask if I have an Xbox and PS5. I have both. luckily I bought it on a firm. I ain't no rich fuck. I bought them on a firm. I had an Xbox forever, and then I only got a PS5. I know it was like 2 years ago, and it was bought and paid for by a firm. Greatest thing to ever have. I'm ready for Terminator No Fate. I hope it's co-op. Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, dude, that's another one. Shit, Greg, you're right. That Terminator 2 game is gonna be badass too. Holy fuck. Holy shit.
They're making a Terminator 2 game?
No, it's No Fate. It's an action side-scrolling game, like an arcade. It looks badass.
Well,
no, dude, it looks amazing.
They're gonna do that. They should do RoboCop vs Terminator again. That shit was dope.
They probably will if this one does well.
Hey,
I don't know.
say, babe, dude, look at us. We're fucking butt buddies.
Ah, I see.
Stock
Blue
our
Rancher.
wieners.
Blue Rancher.
Let's stock our wieners.
Dude, I got. I'll tell you what, guys. I've been like freaking out anyway because you know how like I've talked about before. Like if you ever like you get older, you get hemorrhoids. Sometimes you get them when you're younger. It just depends. And no, dude, and then you're like, and then you start thinking like it's something worse, and then you go on Reddit, and they're like, oh, it could be a sign of this. It could be a sign of that. It could be a sign of this. But in combination, my lower back, because I'm old as fuck, has been hurting too. I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's what it is. I got butt cancer, and it spread up into my back, and now I'm gonna die. And then that's all I've been thinking about for like 2 days.
You can wish upon a star for great things.
Well, you know what? That's fine because the world's kind of fucked right now. I'll just go up.
No, that's just, dude. We both. It's ironic. Like, you know how women, like when they have periods, sometimes they sync up, like they synchronize. I think that like somehow my deep fucked up medical anxiety reached out to you and they like connected and they touched tips because we both have the same thing. I was working on like last week, dude. I was working on an article and like I was trying to finish it and like I'll read it out loud to myself to make sure it doesn't sound dumb as it probably fucking does. But I'm reading it out loud to myself, and dude, every single time I went to speak, I kept like fucking up the words. I'm like, the third Terminator 2 with the best, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I remember, I heard this thing that like sometimes when you start slurring your words and you're sober, obviously, like it could mean you have ALS or something. This one dude died from it. So I'm definitely gonna die. I went through like 7 deaths before I realized I haven't had a drink of water in like a half an hour. I had a drink of water and I was fine. And I'm like, you're fucking crazy, Mike. You're crazy. You're losing your fucking marbles.
Yeah, I just
we both suffer.
I've had like those. Fine. I've had hemorrhoids, but it's just shitty. I hate when it's shitty. Literally, I hate when it happens because you're like, oh my fucking god. And then I bother April nonstop. I'm like, you think I should go to the hospital? What do you think? And then she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I told you you're probably fine, but all you do is go on Reddit, and then you think you're some kind of medical ninja, and you tell. And I was like, first off, Reddit tells the truth, but I don't know. I'm fine. Anyway, I just
know what that is, dude. You look to Reddit and the internet to calm you down, and it's an addiction because you're hoping for it to calm you down, but it actually always makes it worse.
Well, the reason why I looked at it was like, hey Holly, was that well, dude, I mean, because colon cancer is like legitimately scary. I mean, and it like normally, but back in the day, it was like more so 50 years old and up, or have a higher chance of getting it. But they've also shown a dramatic increase in people younger than 45. Also, like it's up like 11%.
So like it could be me.
And the Chadwick Boseman thing, like he didn't know. You just don't want to ignore anything and everything. And we, if you have insurance, thankfully you can go and get it done. So I might go get my butt plugged. I mean, colonoscopy. I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm 41. 45 is now they're screening at 45. So I'm like, well, I'll just whatever. I'll do anyway. It doesn't matter. I don't need to bring the show down.
Hey, no, give it a week. It'll go away. And then that's what I do with everything now. I'm like, I'm going to give it a week. Yeah. It'll probably go away. And it usually fucking does. We suffer from medical anxiety, you and me, and it sucks. It's hard.
Holly Roxy just came in here, and I was going to tell you about, dude, it's crazy, Holly. By the way, you haven't changed your profile pic at all. So I was on an old Angry Grandpa. You know who he is, right? Angry Grandpa video. This was way like 10 years ago. And I was scrolling and I was watching it where the Angry Grandpa show, they got their lights turned off because their Tina, which was his wife, didn't pay the light bill. And he was freaking out and getting mad. He's getting mad. I was going on the comments, dude. Holly Roxy was on the comments with 460 plus fucking upvotes 10 years ago. And
that's awesome.
I was like, oh my god, I know her. And it was because I always do this thing when I watch videos, I go to comments while it's playing on Xbox or whatever, and I'll read the comments, which I shouldn't do because it spoils the video sometimes because people talk about it. But I saw Holly and she was like, "Did they say it was 20 degrees up there? That baby doesn't have pants on?" And then she had like a bunch of comments.
Oh shit!
No, it was pretty sad because these kids that were living there, it was like in the middle of winter, and like their power went off because that dummy didn't pay their light bill, so they had to go out into the van.
Good content though.
Yeah, I was like, "Holy shit, it's Holly!" It was crazy, and I looked at it was 10 years ago.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
Holly.
It's crazy. I know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she said I used to love those videos. Yeah, they're all they got a lot more scripted after they left the Trailwood. The Trailwood part was the trailer park.
Speaking of how awesome you guys are, let's get to what you guys are saying in the chit chat tonight. Have you read any super chats yet?
No, I was waiting.
Courtney Reed going to see Sinners at 6:50, guys. I can't stay. My apologies. Quick question: 100 man versus Silverback Gorilla. Who wins? Please explain.
Oh yeah, that's been going
crazy.
around.
I don't understand. I generally don't understand why it's such a hot topic, dude. I think 100 men win easy. I just do.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what, I thought the same thing, but they're saying that in this scenario, it would be 100 men without any weapons whatsoever. And if you've ever seen a silverback gorilla like actually go fucking nuts on some shit, like it'd be like goddamn Andre the Giant versus a bunch of midgets. It would be insane. Like, dude, they did a projection or not a project. They did like some kind of simulation where a silverback gorilla that thing whipped its ass, dude. It whipped 100 men's ass. I think eventually, here's the thing. I'm kind of like torn on it because I think that 100 men, depending, like you'd also have to stipulate, are these 100 like athletic men or are they just regular guys like average Joes with beer bellies that hang out, at Sal's and eat pizza and do karaoke when they're drunk? Who are they? That's one thing.
I don't want to go. Don't talk about us.
But I think that even if they are athletic and they are in the gym or whatever, I think eventually, men would. There's a motherfucker's going to be losing a lot of dudes. But I think maybe eventually. But dude, you don't understand how strong these goddamn silverback gorillas are. Like they are fucking insanely strong.
My whole take is this: like, can the 100 people get along and make a decision? Because in today's climate, you could be like. You could literally pull up and I'm only picking which side it is based on the story, not for any reason. But you could literally pull up a video and be like, "Hey, is it wrong that this child was abused?" And like the internet, instead of just being like, "Yes, obviously this child shouldn't have been abused," but the way the world is today, you'd have a bunch of people going, "Well, was it a MAGA? Was it did they ask the gorilla its pronoun?" Like it would be fucking like
I was gonna be like,
we can't agree, and we can't. People can't literally agree on anything these days. Like right and wrong has been pushed aside for right and left. Like human beings just don't agree. So if the 100 people work together, they could take out the gorilla pretty fucking easily.
Yeah.
That being said. This day and age, I'm not sure anybody would be able to make teamwork happen.
I think Iron Wolf. I think we would lose like 25 men before the gorilla gets tired. It's possible, and that's the thing. But dude, I don't know. Like again, you have to stipulate what type, what shape are these men in, and there's a lot of other factors that are involved with it. If they're not allowed weapons, these goddamn gorillas are so monstrous, dude. They're so monstrous. And there's a video show you can show. There's at a zoo or something. 2 gorillas or dude, holy shit.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to be. I would not be on the front line. I'd be way back. Like you guys go ahead. Like you guys go first. Whoever goes first is dead. 25
men, I'd be like, we're probably fucked. But 100, come on, man, we'd figure it out, right? But I agree. Who just said that? Dennis. Wham fam fucks that. That's 100 of us working together, believing in each other. We take down that gorilla probably before we lose 15 men.
Yeah, it's hard to get 100 people to work together to solve a problem, but I think if life and death, it's like, hey, if we don't come together, we's all fucked. I think that's going to be a good motivator to get everybody to work together. But yeah,
Independence Day.
It's an interesting topic for sure.
But I do think that 100 people working together could absolutely take it down. Probably wouldn't even lose 15 men. I think we could do it. I believe in mankind in that way. So I think it's kind of I don't really understand why it's such a hot topic. I'm kind of confused about it. I know they're scary, but we are many, and the gorilla is one.
Cinderella says most of us would be drunk. Yeah, we wouldn't even be like, fuck it. I don't know.
Just go. Hey, Timmy, go grab that fucker's leg and don't let go. Johnny, grab that fucker's leg and don't let go. And then you get your big motherfucker to come out and start wailing on that son of a bitch. And then 2 other people grab the arms. I think you could do it with 10 men if they're working together and they're in physical shape. Tin
I
Man,
think
I think could do it.
I don't know
That
if
was
you're.
even a
I don't
human
even know.
specimen.
I don't know if a full grown man punching a gorilla in the face is going to do that much damage compared to what they can actually do and what they can take.
Well, look at what Bullseye did in Daredevil. Spit out your own fucking tooth and cut that son of a bitch.
That's
Like,
amazing.
I don't know, like
it's true. If you get get Bullseye, he could do it just by himself.
I really don't understand. I don't understand why it's an argument. Like 10 men, probably a problem, but 100 men.
Batman
come
Joker,
on.
so you have to be trolling. It's a
I
real,
don't-
like,
I don't-
no, I don't know if you're
I-
talking about
that's
like,
the
but it's a real thing. Like people are like,
We have
actually
critical thinking.
well, it kind of goes back to the. I think I don't know why, because the big thing for I feel like a year ago or 2 years ago, and I guess in some circles it still is. They were like asking a woman, "What would you rather if you were alone in the forest? Would you rather choose a random man or a random bear?"
No,
I'm not going to go into it because I'm really not going to get into the debate.
It's so dumb.
It was so dumb. It really was.
Yeah.
It was an obvious thing. A fucking bear would maul you to death. And by the way, when they eat you alive. It's not like a pretty thing where they're like, oh, okay, go to sleep and I'll kill you afterward. No, they maul you. And there's a 50-50 chance. That's the thing. Well, it's like, I took the bear because a man could do anything. A random man, which by the way, you don't know anything about, you stumble across them in the woods. They're not all out to, do bad things to you. Or a 50-50 chance with a wild animal, a fucking bear, that you have no idea what it's capable of doing. You don't know what's going to set it off. You'd rather take the bear like it's Winnie the Pooh. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yes. Can men be absolute disgusting pieces of shit? For sure. But any of those people actually given that thing, like the majority of man is good. The majority of man is good. And I think that's such a stupid, hateful argument, the whole bear man thing. I think it's terrible. Like,
yeah, it's just, I don't, it's just, there is a lot of misandrists that came out and said, I just don't like men or this or men or that. I was like, listen, like Mike said,
we know
bad.
specifically white men. We know everyone hates it.
There's bad men, there's bad women. It's not like it only comes in one gender. It's not one size fits all. There's some bitches too. And there's some cocksuckers. That's just what it is. But at the end of the day, a wild animal, a giant goddamn black bear or brown bear or grizzly bear, you are out of your fucking mind. It's not a goddamn Snow White movie. You're not going to go hand in hand and sing lullabies to the birds. Like this thing will be like, I'm hungry. Fuck you. And then you're dead.
The world's so weird, dude. Like I'm continuously like, and just like, I really got to get off Twitter because like you look at Twitter and it's like every other post, it feels like is like just like the most racist, awful, sexist shit. It's like, as long as it's not a white guy, I'm like, imagine if anybody said that. Like, I understand like the history of the world, but like we're so hateful towards each other. Like you can't just look at the color of someone's skin or the gender of them and like some people be like, oh, I can say whatever I want because like white people did bad shit. It's like, no, you're still being like this in this world that we live in.
Yeah,
it's not that. What are we doing?
It was
like,
the whole thing was. I don't know. Like I thought maybe when they said, would you rather choose a man or a bear if you were alone in the woods was like a test of logic, and everyone fucking failed that chose the bear. Like it was just, like I thought that the initial like question was for to gauge logic. And obviously like you failed.
And you're not allowed to say anything. Don't get me wrong. Like I, as a fucking straight white man, am in no way a fucking victim. Like I'm living my life.
It's not even about white. It's
like,
about men. It was literally attacking. It was just like,
but
hey,
like,
if you're a
doubling
man,
up.
You're saying like the women that answered bear were the ones that are basically saying that you are more of a risk than a wild fucking animal that weighs like half a fucking ton, ripping your face off and eating it while they're smiling at you with your eyeballs bursting in between its teeth.
And to be honest, I bet 99.9% of women, at least attractive women for sure, have been at a gas station just minding their own business, trying to pump their gas and get home to their kids or whatever, have had some fucking meth head come up and be like, hey girl, you trying to suck this dick? Like I guarantee like men are fucking awful and human beings can be fucking awful. Like, but you know what? They have not been in a situation where they're at a gas station and no one's around and there's a bear 10 foot from them either. Like, it's just
Shelly Bean's like, I love how Jay says I'm not going to get into this and proceeds to get into it. I know, and I was like, that's my fault. That's a failing of me. I'm like, oh, but I can't resist.
Dumb.
I know. That's why I'm not. I listen. I use Twitter to watch fight videos and murder videos sometimes. That's what I use it for, and that's it. I don't go around like getting into the debates. But yeah, you're right. I should move on because it does. For some reason, it is divisive. It shouldn't be. It should be an obvious like answer, but apparently it's divisive, and I don't want to get in my like panties in a bunch about it.
we're 90s kids, right? So like we grew up in a time where it was like, hey, like, you know what? You shouldn't judge anyone based on the color of their skin. Like, right? Like if you judge someone based on the color of their skin or their skin,
Yeah.
then you are a racist or a sexist. And and these days when you get online and you look at it, it's like, holy fuck. Like, you know, it's insane. Like just saying that, like, you shouldn't judge me based on the color of my skin makes you a racist. Saying, please don't judge me on the color of my skin makes you a racist person. And like, the world is so dumb, dude. Like, but it's not real. It's all the internet. You got to get off the internet. I spend so much time on the internet, that it leaks into my soul. And it makes me start thinking about the world and like worrying about like, holy shit, what's going on here? This is crazy. I can't even look at people and be like, hey, I don't see your skin color. I just see you being without PM. I'm like, well, that's not enough. I want, you know, like, it's just, wow. I'm going on a tangent here. I don't want to. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the truth is, it really wasn't even like, it's not even about skin color. It was just about you're a man and they don't like you because you're a man.
It's just silly, man. Like,
yeah,
we're all human beings, man. I love everyone. I love everyone.
Because by the way,
I'm not allowed to say that because
last fucking thing I'm going to say about it, and because I don't, there's a lot of show, and I don't want you guys, I don't want to be buoyed down by this one particular thing, but I will say one thing: the same question was posed to some of these chicks, and they asked them, if you were alone in the forest, and they were like, you know, the white liberal ladies, they were like, would you choose a black man or a bear? And then they got real quiet. Interesting how that works, isn't it? Interesting how that works, because if they had chose the bear, then they might be deemed racist. Yeah. Interesting
so
how
true,
you
dude.
flip that shit, because they're like,
so
I know.
It's like the he's like, you got me in a box here. It's like, aha!
Yep. Gotcha, bitch. It's like that Dave Chappelle. Gotcha, bitch. But anyway, either way, let's just move on from it. Because I don't know where. Like, it just feels like now we're getting into like a fresh and fit podcast.
The last thing I'll say, and it's not a bitch fist. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not coming from a victim place. Like, if people like hate me because I'm white and straight, like whatever, that's fine. But like, you know, I'll be all right. But like, the last thing I'll say is like, I was at Joseph Beth the other day, right? Yeah. It's a bookstore. It's a huge bookstore here in Kentucky.
What's books?
And yeah, what are books? There's a huge section that's just literally for race conversation. Like, it's in the front of the fucking store, like a marquee, and it's all these books. And basically it's like how to not be racist, how to love people with black skin, like how to fucking, and I'm like, why? I don't need a book to love people with black skin. Like, I love. Yeah. It's fine. We're so obsessed with it, and like all the Ryan Coogler stuff with like Sinners. I'm like, dude, the actor, everybody was so good. I didn't think one time like,
I didn't either.
Hey, that black guy did pretty good. I'm just like, it's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, the first thing you're going to come out of the theater like, what'd you think about the movie? It's like, well, it had black people in it, and that's not what you're going to think. You're going to be like, it was a good movie. You know what happened?
The base of racism is to judge someone off the color of their skin. Why is everyone freely doing that?
I'll tell you what it is, dude. Is because these cocksuckers found how to make it profitable by hyper focusing on race issues all the time, nonstop, every day, everywhere. And they know they figured out how to make a buck. Like, I grew up in the 90s, Mike grew up in the 90s. The thing was, back then, I'd watch a movie or go see a TV show. The last thing I was thinking about was like, oh, it's a black dude, or it's a white dude, or it's this dude, or what. I didn't care. Like, and again, I hate using these examples because they're so boring and they've been done a million times. People are like, well, that's not what it's about. When I saw Blade, I didn't give a shit that he was black. I thought Wesley Snipes was fucking awesome. That movie ruled. It was a cool ass vampire hunter, and it was badass. That's what I thought. Yeah. Spawn, I thought Michael Jai White was fucking incredible in that movie, and he happened to be black, but I didn't think about that. I didn't give a shit. That's what I'm saying. Back then it was different because maybe the internet hadn't become so prevalent, and not everybody was burying their fucking faces in their phones constantly online, wanting to be heated up, wanting to get mad, and this rage bait culture happened. And these companies and these fucking mainstream media were like, hey, we can do this to make money. We can fucking get people really pissed off for no reason and hyper focus on stupid shit. And then everyone could get divided and we can make money that way. That's what happened. You got played like fools. Most people did get played like fools. But anyway, why on that?
Specifically in the horrorverse, it's like, so what do you do for a living? And people are like, well, I'm a queer black, this and that. I was like, dude, I don't care, man. It's like, I really don't care if you fuck guys, fuck girls, black, white, whatever. Like, I just like, You know, like we're just, to me, it feels like as a society, we are so obsessed with the color of people's
Yeah.
skin. And
Sure.
isn't that the basism of racism? Like, isn't that the basism? Isn't that like, but is like, right? Like, aren't we supposed to just look at each other and see each other as human
Yeah.
beings and not
That's
be
what's
like,
good.
well, what's your, you know, I'm so confused by it.
I think
I'm perplexed.
here's the thing. At the end of the day, does racism exist? Of course it does. There are pockets of people that are always going to be assholes and they never will change, and that's their belief. They're assholes against somebody because of the color of their skin. But is it like this widespread pandemic that it's constantly around every fucking corner and everyone's a racist? If you're no, that's absolutely that's complete false. That's a lie. That's rage bait. That's
Yeah, I don't care who you fuck, bro. Just like what's your content?
Yeah, is there homophobia? Of course there is. But anyway, at the end of the day, people were saying Meteor Man, fucking great movie, love that movie. Blank Man, hilarious. But again, back then it was not a hyper-focused thing where it was constantly, we were like constantly online looking at, well, did you, look what they fuck in the bedroom and look at their skin. Nobody was focused on it. We just having a good time. We was Americans. We was having a good time. But anyway, that's what it is.
How about this? How about what we should do right now is we should take a look at Final Destination Bloodlines. The not the reviews, but the social.
No, duh. I know.
It's so simple. It's a very simple formula.
I think, by the way, when are we going to get a Black Superman? It's probably, there already is one in the comic books, by the way.
But also, why does there have to be? Like,
well,
I don't care if there is, but like, why do we have to go, well, I need to check a box? Like, what if we just, they're human beings, man. We're all fucking human beings.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what your fucking skin color is or who you fuck. Why is that so weird?
I don't know.
I guess because my skin's white, which makes you a racist. If I'm not allowed to say something because of the color of my skin, you're fucking racist.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry I was born white.
Or we're just both uninformed Ku Klux Klan members and we'll never get it.
Anyways, let's wrap this up because I got to get to my Ku Klux Klan meeting.
Yeah.
So all right, Final Destination Bloodlines.
By the way, I did hear about this, that it's apparently better or as good as the first one, is what they're saying.
That's so that's what I was getting at. Like the reactions are in. So I'm going to go to the top version of them. They screened Final Destination Bloodlines for a bunch of people. Not us, because who knows why. Probably because we're in Kentucky. But the reactions are pretty insane, dude. Good news if you're hoping for a great Final Destination movie. I just pulled up the top comments on Final Destination Bloodlines. Jonathan Sims says it's the best Final Destination yet. Bigger and bloodier, a game changer that revitalizes the series and changes up the formula. A literally jaw-dropping blast that's hysterical, violent, and 100% fun.
That's what you want. That's what you want. That's it.
I will say, caveat to all of this, there's a big difference between you as a human being going to a movie theater at 1 p.m. and seeing it with 4 other people and just taking the movie in as it is, and what a lot of these people experience, which is a packed movie theater full of people who are already gigantic horror and Final Destination fans partying and celebrating the movie together. Like, think Scream 2, how excited everybody was. A lot of times these early reactions, you do have to take them with a grain of salt, because it's full of people who love it and it's a party. So that adds to the fun. So I will say that, and that's what these people experience. They experience a party, but that's that one. And then Russ says the franchise really takes its extremely brutal deaths to an entirely different level. Bloodlines has a very unique hook that should satisfy audiences and lifelong fans, with the family dynamic is a wonderful addition. All good things.
Yep.
Bill says, I think it's the best Final Destination film since 2, which is something I've seen a lot. It's a gloriously bloody symphony of horror. It nails the tone. The kills are crazy and wicked. It's also genuinely touching farewell to Tony Todd. I love that. I do love that. That's cool. I hope they do that. This person says it brings death back with a vengeance, with a fun twist on the franchise formula, some fun callbacks to previous traumatic deaths, a surprising amount of heart and laughter. Dude, that's crazy. Like it'd been easy for this movie to come out like, hey, there's a bunch of cool deaths, but people are saying it's got heart. People are saying it changes up the formula and makes it original. and it's got a touching tribute to Tony Todd. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's all. That's what you want when you go and see it. Like that's all you want. Like you just want people like, hey, listen, it's gonna be like a popcorn movie. That's like everyone's there to see one thing. Really, it's the deaths, and they want to have a good story tying it together. But it doesn't have to be Shakespearean. And I'm glad they're going back to that formula. Like I think it's going to be good. I mean, and based on, by the way, even with the advertisement for this, like they even have now where it's like remember this, and they're showing the Final Destination 2 clip. So they're very confident going in that hey, we've recaptured that magic a little bit.
Yeah, like and 25 years after the first brings the franchise to a whole new level. Sadly, the movie does a great job at making you care for the whole family. Perry says the movie's packed with clever and extremely well executed set pieces that very successfully scratch the itch the 2000 original started. The twisted thrill of seeing the outrageous things that could happen when you get caught up in the death's design, and then having the wild ride on the big screen. Dude, I've been looking at these for 2 days and retweeting them. I haven't seen a single negative thought about this movie, which is probably great.
I think it's a good sign. I mean, I'm sure there's some that's not going to like it, but I mean, that's fine. I think that overall, the general feel towards it is like we bringing it back.
We're taking it back. Clerks too.
Action says it's almost 7. I guess I can drink. Yeah, go ahead.
Have one.
Fire it up.
Have 5. But dude, like honestly, like I'm so happy to see that. Because if I'm being completely honest with you, when I watch the trailer and I watch all the advertisements for Final Destination, I'm thinking that looks fun. I want to see it. I'm glad they're excited about it. But there's also a chance that this movie is kind of like a low budget, super CGI blood type affair that just kind of comes and goes. But if you look at these reviews, they're saying there's actually like thematically there's good shit, and it's emotionally touching just enough, a little bit. But also it's a fucking bloody party. Final Destination, it sounds like it might be the best Final Destination movie. I haven't seen anybody say it's the best of all. But
I don't think it's
the best since the second.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to top the first one ever. But I do think it can come close to beating the second one or being just as good. I'm interested. I like the idea, like the direction they're moving with it. It's interesting. I like the idea. I think the casting's pretty good. And based on the reception it's getting so far, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun one.
Hey, dude. Me too.
By the way, everyone keeps asking. I've seen a few popping up. I've not seen it. The new Weapons trailer that's dropped.
Let's watch it. I've seen it, but let's watch it. I want you to see it.
Okay, I'll watch. I'll be right back.
Spick and span, sucking the dick. Today and yesterday, always negative left. Fuck cheese. Parts of urethra. The bad part about starting these streams early is that you start drinking earlier. And I don't know if that's what's best for everyone involved. I don't have alcohol. Oh, no, I know, Michael. I got a lot of chats to get to. We're definitely going to cover every super chat. So please keep those coming. We appreciate them to keep the channel going. We're going to get to all the super chats. We're just riffing, you know? We're just doing things. But Jay hasn't seen the Weapons trailer yet. And it's fascinating to me. I look forward. So he hasn't seen the teaser or anything about Weapons. I don't think Jay knows dick all about Weapons. It's going to be fun to see someone's reaction to all that together. Gary says it could be another solid year for horror. Dude, I hope so. Because I'll be honest with you. Some fucking fuck ass in the comments a couple days ago, I reviewed Havoc with Tom Hardy. He's like, oh, is it just me? Or does Mike seem to like hate every fucking movie that comes out now? Like, I thought the point in movies was to enjoy them. And like, dude, when you review a movie, the fucking thought and the point of movie is to give your honest opinion. If you suck the dick of everything, just go watch Chris fucking Stuckman. You know what I mean? No shade to him. He was at least honest, and he said, I'm never going to give anything a bad review because I am going to go direct movies and shit. Cool. That's awesome. But like, our job is to be honest. We're just fucking fans. We're not trying to fucking be goddamn Steven Spielberg over here. And I respect the fuck that he is. Like, that's awesome. But like, our job is to tell the fucking truth. So if we see a movie and we think it's a piece of shit, you want me to fucking lie so that it goes with your opinion? Suck my fucking ass.
Yes, lie.
Suck it. So let's watch the Weapons trailer. But no, I'll be honest. Like the up to this point, I'm not saying every movie sucked, but up to this point this year, dude, I've watched a lot of shit fucking asshole movies. Like I've watched a lot of dog shit 2025 bullshit CGI half-ass fucking bullshit movies that if you compare them to the first quarter of 1995, 6, 7, or 8, it'd be found wanting. Like so I'm really looking forward to what's coming next, including this, dude. This is a weapons trailer. So you and I on Patreon watched fucking Barbarian, and you loved it, right? It's a great fucking movie. It's fun, old school, kind of like People Under the Stairs, Wes Craven type of shit, right?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really good.
This is more of the same in my opinion. But here's the new weapons trailer. Jay's first time watching it. Here we go.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And do you know why?
No.
Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
Ooh, setup.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
What the fuck? Oh, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
She stabbed herself with a fork.
This is where the story really starts.
No way.
That's
Damn,
good as fuck,
dude.
wasn't it?
Dude, I got that. Actually, that gave me goose pimples. That one did not the rock one. That actually fucking scared me a little bit. Like that was like a goddamn fever dream. That's like when you drink in the daytime and then you go home and you sleep and you have some of the weirdest fucking dreams ever. Like, and you wake up and you're like, oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I didn't even watch half that trailer. I just watched you because I knew the points that were coming. I was watching your reaction to it.
Yeah, dude. That's bad, dude. Like that bitch was stabbing herself in the fucking face with a fork.
Yeah, she was like a baked potato before you put it in the oven.
God, not even a plastic one from Daisy, like just a metal one. Holy shit!
It was good, doesn't it? Like,
I mean, yeah,
I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but I kind of don't want to see it now because I expected it not to be like fucking cerebral like that. Like that shit was like it's gonna fuck my brain. I don't like that.
Now, I unfortunately
the SATs from hell. Yeah, yeah, dude.
So the script for this was apparently so good that Jordan Peele was trying to get it, and when his people didn't get it, he fired his entire management team because they couldn't get it for him. Damn. And it ended up with Craig Zeggers from Barbarian or whatever. But like, unfortunately, the script leaked on Reddit. So I've been seeing a bunch of comments that like people have read the script for it already, and that's a bummer because you know it's going to get spoiled. But dude, that is what it's about. Original fucking horror. You don't know what's going to happen. You're on the edge of your seat. That's what Barbarian provided. I hope it's more of the same.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I hope it's not that scary.
I hope it's twice as scary.
But yeah, it looks like one of those movies that might have one or two jump scares, but most of it's going to be like atmospheric. It's going to make you feel very uncomfortable watching it. Those are. And I actually do enjoy horror movies that are like told like that, and they're not just constantly relying on a jump scare to tell the story because it just seems cheap and like it's effective, but it's ineffective. It's like on a roller coaster or something like that. But like actually making you freaked out and weird, and making you feel like, oh my god, something's wrong, and making you feel tense while they're telling the story. That's what you want. Like I think that Tarantino.
Hey, give your thoughts. I gotta pee again real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, Tarantino said it best though back when they were asking him about The Thing. He was talking about paranoia, And that's what that movie is in a nutshell. It's just paranoia, and it was so effective that while you were watching it, or if you've never seen it, you got to watch that movie. But while you watch it, it like comes out of the screen and makes you paranoid too. That's what it's all about. But yeah, man, weapons. Send them back. They're defective. We don't like them. Holy shit. That little boy, like, first off, when that chick walked in and she saw all those kids, which by the way, I like in my head, I was thinking like maybe when she was like walking into her classroom and she was seeing all these kids with their heads down and they were like, you know, that one weirdo fucking boy that looks like he's related to Damien, like lifts his head. I was like, I thought that was like a dream sequence that she was having. But I don't know. I guess maybe it was, I don't know. But whoo. Village of the Damned vibes, yeah, kind of show. I don't know why. Orlando says I don't know why I get the feel of the children's story of Peter Piper. Not sure. Oh, dude, that's actually a good point. Yeah, dude, I could totally see that. Actually, N64 stream, dude. I'm telling you what, man. Even if like I don't have it set up to do games or anything like that, like streaming games, but even then, like depending, I just don't know if anybody really gives a shit. I don't know. I would try it, but I don't know what even in the 64 games would be interesting. Siroth says Jay mad. It's not MAGA weapons. Yeah, it's that's what I'm pissed off about. It's not MAGA weapons. Doom Turkey says I love watch you play Until Dawn. Oh, that could actually be interesting. I've never played the game, and I know that everyone was talking about how superior it was to the movie, except for one guy that came in earlier and said it was great. The movie. Did you guys, by the way, I didn't get to ask you guys, did you guys like Until Dawn? Or did you guys think it was bullshit? Did you guys think that they dropped the ball completely with the adaptation? 4 out of 10? Because I mean, I'm asking for people that have played the game. If you played the game, did you guys think it was good or not? It was mid. Yeah. Silent Hill. I do all these things. You know what? Like, listen, if there's enough of demand for it, we'll figure out something. We'll figure out how to set it up, and figure it out. Shitty adaptation. Okay, Michael doesn't like it. I knew that Michael didn't like it. Michael Parton, earlier on. Yeah, mid. I'm seeing a lot of mid. That's how I felt too watching it. It was like mid to low mid. This is bad, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, I don't know. There was just something about that movie. For whatever reason, it felt like it was. There was just something about that movie. For whatever reason, it felt like it was. There was just something about that movie. For whatever reason, it felt like it was. There's something about that movie. You were streaming. You had it on. I was like, do I sound like that? Holy shit! I'm terrible.
I'm still hearing it. Are you hearing it?
No, it's I muted you shared the screen and I muted it. I think you have to.
Hang on, let me get.
Yeah, I'm fake. It's all AI. But anyway, what I was saying was the movie felt very much like one of those early 2000s films that nobody cared about, but they were trying to make a quick dollar with it. You know, like it was just kind of Urban Legends or some shit like that, or House of Wax, even though that's a fun movie. But it's not like memorable necessarily. That's what I kind of felt like. Or what was that really shitty? Do you remember that movie that came out with the kid from Malcolm in the Middle? Where it was like a horror game or something, and they all played it, and then the creatures from the game were coming to kill them. How they died in the game? What was that? What was that movie? No, it was a really bad movie.
By the way, did you experience what I just experienced?
Yeah, I heard it. They heard it too.
That was weird as hell. Like it just kept repeating the same thing.
Stay Alive. Stay Alive.
Oh,
what a fucking dog shit movie. That movie looked like someone got drunk and forgot to finish it. That was such a bad movie. That was so bad. And Frankie Muniz, right? That's the guy from Malcolm, the little kid.
Yeah.
That was so bad. That movie was terrible. But I'm not saying that Until Dawn was like that, but it had the same kind of feel to it. You know what I mean? Like just a really generic type of movie that everyone's going to forget after they watch it, and then that's it.
Yeah, no, 100%. JK, member for 10 months. 10 months, JK, says Jay. I know you're a fan of Shane Gillis. You seen Tires?
I see them on my car all the time. And I also see them when I walk through Walmart or Lowe's, and I go through the tire section and I smell it.
I know he was asking you, but I watched the whole first season of Tires of Shane Gillis, and I thought it was entertaining as shit. Like, I loved it. I thought it was fucking hilarious. You'd like it if you watched it. It was good.
I love Shane Gillis, though. He is great.
Yeah, that shit was good. The Oi Station says, "Hey, Mike and Jay, how's your day going? I've been rewatching Game of Thrones. I said, God damn, I forgot how good it is, and screw the MCU."
Well, here's the thing. I think that you're right. I think Game of Thrones was incredible for a while, and I think that they did do a good job of telling a great story, and they did a faithful adaptation of Martin's story. But the problem is, after that, they got lazy. I think that the writing and the filming got really lazy, and it got kind of stupid. It went off the rails, and I lost interest in it. I remember I watched all the seasons, but the last season, nah, that ain't it, dog. That ain't it. By the way, I do have logged all your earlier super chats. We'll go back to them just so you.
I got them pulled up. We're good. Yeah, they're on.
Okay, I was just making sure because you weren't in on the stream. I didn't know if it saved it.
No, it did. It's weird. It did this time. Sometimes it doesn't. But no, I'm the same way that Game of Thrones, dude. Like those first few seasons, 1 through 4 were fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Everything after that, there's questionable moments, but yeah, you're 100% right, dude. It's great. It's great times. Michael Parton says, "You guys are rad. You're fucking rad, Michael. Member for 9 months.
Thank you, man.
Son of a bitch."
Michael.
By the way, I just learned something. I did not know this. I learned it yesterday.
We have emojis.
Well, no, there's emojis, but also if you join, and there's a button right in the description that says join. And by the way, let me say this, our Patreon stream and now Patreon/member stream is going to be on the 10th. It's not this Saturday, it's next Saturday. Next Saturday, because there's the Derby and all this stuff going on this weekend. It's next Saturday. But I learned that like when we upload videos, they will act like a new way to do that. So if you're a member, expect to get more of those old videos popping up, I guess is what I'm saying.
Good times. By the way, Holly, you got to get on that shit, man. Come on. She said, I still never started Game of Thrones. You've got to watch
Long road.
It's a good time, though. It's a good fucking time.
It's basically, it's best to do when there's like no football on or you don't have anything to watch because it's a long thing to get into.
Yeah.
Jamie Downs became a YouTube member. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
Shit's going to get
nice
weird.
To see you.
Just uploaded today our basket case review for longtime Patreon Jeremy. So that's going to be up there. Jay and I.
Speaking of, by the way, I just want to put a little quick thing out there about Basket Case. The movie was so weird. I wanted to watch the sequels, and there's 2 of them. There's 2 sequels to that. And Mike and I talk about that. I'm gonna when it gets closer, I'm gonna do a Patreon solo stream because Mike's already seen them on the Mission Impossible movies because I've never seen the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th leading up to the last Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie that's gonna hit theaters.
Well, not a stream, right? You're gonna
I'm sorry, not a stream. I'm sorry, yeah, a review on Patreon. And but I also thought about doing Basket Case 2 and 3.
Fucking do it, dude.
Yeah,
guys, and case in point, we're planning to do a lot more shit on Patreon than we ever have. We've always done a ton of shit on Patreon, but we're gonna do a lot more, including Jay doing all the Mission Impossibles, maybe the Basket Cases, a ton of shit. So look forward to that on YouTube memberships and on Patreon for sure.
I think I mentioned it before, and they're like, "Well, Jay, there goes Jay again, making promises and just lying his ass off like he's a fucking politician running for re-election." I will get the reason why I haven't started Mission Impossible is because I want to wait closer to when the movie comes out so that I'm all caught up.
But not only that, but honest to God, like if you signed up for the Patreon, by the way, you can sign up for $3, $5, whatever. But like when you sign up for it, there is over 100 movie commentaries that Jay and I have done over the years. There's tons of reviews, tons of extra stuff. It's a bunch. And again, once a month we do a stream. And if you think these streams are weird, you should see the Patreon streams.
They get wild.
Fucking wild. Luke Weber says, "What's up, gay boys?"
Hey,
fine, I'll take that.
Happy guys.
Been a while.
We're happy guys.
Been a while since I caught a live. Mike, will you tie your damn shoelaces? Jay, how's the new Nissan Cube going? It suits you. You do look like a new Nissan Cube driver. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, I mean, I think it's reliable and it gets me from point A to point B, and I enjoy it a lot. Actually, it's got really high ratings as far as safety goes, and that's what I'm concerned with. So I don't know if that's an insult or you're just jealous that I have a Nissan Cube. I don't have a Nissan Cube.
Dude,
I don't even know. I literally don't know what the fuck that is. I just went with it. But at the end of the day, I would buy it if it had a high safety rating.
When Jay was, I gotta tell you this, when Jay was freshly divorced and he was looking for a new car, and we're talking about like what kind of car you should get, and he was just like, dude, I like the Dodge Neon. He was like, you know why? He was like, because it's not threatening. It's like, you know, a lot of dudes, like I went through like an early midlife crisis and I bought like a fucking Mustang. It wasn't like a super fancy or anything, but it was like cool, you know, old school Mustang. But Jay's like, I don't want to be threatening. I want to buy like a 1997 Dodge Corolla so that if I pull up on a girl, like she knows she's safe. That always cracked me up, dude. Like you said, it's not threatening.
Did I say it's not threatening or aggressive?
You did.
It's not.
No,
aggressive.
you said it's not threatening. You said I like it because it's not threatening.
Well, here's the thing. I always loved I had a 2000 Dodge Neon forever, and it was great. It was an awesome car, and it wasn't aggressive. You didn't pull up, and you didn't sound like the bad guy from Spider-Man 1. Hey, come out, check out my new car. Like you weren't an asshole about it. People are like, this is a trustworthy guy that's driving a 2000 Dodge Neon, and he's just that guy. I didn't want to get.
It's a positive thing about you, by the way, because most dudes are like, I want to get a dually that every time I turn around a corner, I scare children, and you're like, I would like a soft.
I want the soft approach when I come up. It's like, I'm just here to be your friend. I'm not here to like. I'm not expecting anything. And this was when I was single. I was like, I'm not expecting anything. We could just have a good time. We'll go see something. Maybe go to Olive Garden afterwards, and we'll see how it goes. Not expecting
then
anything.
You ended up with like a fucking what's your car? What is like a Corolla or some shit?
No, I got a Hyundai. I got an Elantra, and the only reason why I got that because my credit was so fucking bad. That was the only thing that I could get, and they wanted to get rid of it anyway because it was a Ford dealership, and that was like for whatever reason they had a Hyundai. So I had to go through hell to get that car. It's paid for, which I'm happy about, but I enjoyed the Elantra as well.
No, I will say you're actually right on that because like it's awkward as fuck. Because when I had that Mustang, dude, I would get the weirdest fucking people that will always. It ought to be a dude, be like, "Hey man, I like your ride. What you got on that hood?"
Yeah, see, I don't want that kind of conversation. Like, I just want to drive it like a regular car that no one's even going to talk about.
Yeah, or I'd pull up to a fucking Dunkin' Donuts and some fucking skank would be like, "Man, I'd like to get in that car with you right now." And I'm like, my child's in the back. I gotta go. Like this is weird. Like
Daniel Torres says, "I wouldn't want to fight me neither." That's exactly what it was. That's exactly how I felt. And who else said? I think Adrian. Oh, Adrian says my dream car is a Chevy Mustang. My Chevy Mustang. Yeah, I know. My dream car, dude. My dream car. From like ever since I saw the movie, that's all I wanted for whatever reason. And but it goes opposite of what I was just talking about. The coolest car I ever saw, and like a car that you could own, not like the Batmobile or the Ecto 1 or something like that, was Fast and the Furious, the green Eclipse with the underglow. That's what I wanted. I wanted that fucking car, dude. That car was cool as shit, and I always said I'm gonna get that car one day, and I never did. But dude, that car looked dope. Like that was one of the coolest cars ever, dude.
That my mom had a Chevy, or not a Chevy, but like an Eagle Talon, and it was basically an Eclipse, but it was my sister's first, and all the seats were decked in cow skin. They were cow skin, and she had like 20-inch speakers in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So like we'd be driving to see family or whatever after my mom took it over because they always just traded everything or whatever. But like we'd be driving, I'd be like, "Hey, let's listen to some Kid Rock," and you'd be driving down the street in a fucking Eagle Talon with like "Cowboy" and like fucking round.
I thought Eagle Talons were cool, man. My uncle had an Eagle Talon for a little while, and then he traded it out for a Miata. Really big upgrade. But I will say, hey, you know what's funny? Like just speaking of cars, I will get off of that because I know that it's kind of boring. But there's one car that always looked like a chick car to me when we were growing up, and it was a Celica. I remember at one point everybody was like saying, "Hey, you should get a Celica," and I'm like, "Nah, dude, that's like a chick car for sure." But
no, I have.
Huh? Action said,
"What's the matter?"
She was jumping in puddles full like socks and shoes, so her feet so.
My platinum shirt got stuck.
Love you. She had dance. She just got home from dance. 3 hours of dance. She's an athlete, unlike her dad. But no, to the I drive a Tacoma, like a
Sender white man truck.
Yeah, Toyota Tacoma.
There's nothing that says vanilla white as a Tacoma.
yeah, exactly. But like one dude was walking out. I was at volleyball, and a dude was walking out. He was like, "Nice taco, man." And I was like, "What the fuck did you say to me?" He was like, He was getting in his Tacoma. And it's like,
Oh.
oh, I didn't know we called them tacos. Like that's
You're part of a club now.
By the way, it's not a good truck. It's like the base model. Like it's like, and it was expensive as shit, but it was like the base model. And I'm telling you, you do not. The only reason I bought it was because I'm going to give it to my big kid because it's big and it's safe and it's slow. But like, you can't turn out in front of anybody, dude. Like there was no get up and go to that car, whatever. My favorite car ever was my first car. It was a '96 Cherokee Sport, like. Not a Grand Cherokee, but a Cherokee Sport, the box style, the same one Kyle Gallner drives in Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. And there was something wrong with that car. Like it had like a straight 6 in it, but we would take it downtown where all the Fast and the Furious kids would race. Yeah. And I would race these kids from stoplight to stoplight and beat them over and over again because there was something wrong with this car. When you hit the gas, it just fucking went. It had no like stop to it. I don't know where I'm going with this story, but that
I was gonna say also, speaking of another dream car that I always wanted, when I saw when I played Resident Evil 2, I always liked that fucking Jeep that Leon Kennedy was driving when he was like, great, radio's out, first day on the job. Like that scene, I was like, dude, that fucking, I don't know if it was a Wrangler. That was badass, dude. I was like, you know what? That's gonna be my life. I'm gonna join an obscure police department in the middle of nowhere, and I'm gonna be a rookie, and I'm gonna buy a Wrangler, and I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna save the day. That's what that was cool. Mike had a Jeep like that, but it wasn't a Wrangler. Dude, Wranglers are badass, dude. I don't give a shit.
Love those things.
The jeans are good too. I like the jeans. They're cheap.
Like Jeeps weren't cool back in the day, so you could afford one. Nowadays, it's like it's insane.
Yeah, well, that's different. When you get older, like that was everybody was like super focused on like the brand name shit that you were wearing. But dude, I wish I had I had nothing wrong with Wrangler. Like, that's fine, dude. You can make them look good.
Dude, I drove that Jeep into the fucking ground. I'm not kidding you guys. I would just to get my lights on. It was 96 Jeep. I would have to pull the lights back, and I had an ink pen, and I would shove it into the ignition, and then it would hold the lights together, and it was always bright. So I had to drive around with my brights on all the time. Got in so many fights and like arguments and shit. I'm like, dude, it's a piece of shit fucking car. That car, by the time I finally upgraded, I dropped it off to a buy here, pay here. And it was these Mexican dudes. And they're like, I give you $400.
Yeah.
I opened the hood and he was like, oh shit, man, it's not good. I was like, I'll take it. $400. It was like a fucking $10,000 car, but like at that point, you know.
Oh, and by the way, underneath of floorboard in the back of the trunk, hold all the cocaine.
Yeah, dude.
And then you became what are they called, a donkey, or what are they, a carrier for the drugs for the cartel? Wasn't there a Clint Eastwood movie where he was like it revolved around that, where like a mule, the mule?
You're probably talking about
the mule, mule,
not mule, no,
a mule. Stupid. I said donkey. What's the goddamn difference? What is the difference between a donkey and a mule? Aren't they pretty much the same kind of thing, like cousins?
It's a great car. That's all I know. It's a great fucking car. Anyways.
By the way, guys, just so if you guys are new here, if any of you are, like, that's what we're talking about, dude. We took Luke Weber's super chat. We just turned it into like a fucking 10-minute my cars and shit. It is what it be.
Austin, my class had a movie day today, and they wanted to watch the Chipmunks. You teach Austin? There's no way Austin's the teacher, dude. There's no way. I refuse to believe that. My class had a movie today, and they wanted to watch the Chipmunks, and I couldn't have that, so I let them vote between Major Payne, Wayne's World, Ace Ventura 2, and Ghostbusters. Going to learn today. So you're definitely not a middle school, maybe high school, probably a college.
Give that man a raise, Austin. Bringing up the children the right way and giving them the education they need in life.
There's not a wrong answer in that list, by the way. I would watch every single one of those.
First off, who won? Austin, tell us who won, because immediately Ghostbusters would be the go-to, but all the other ones are great.
I'm going Wayne's World on that one, but like I would.
Major Payne is like it is. I mean,
that's a great list, dude. That's
an amazing list.
4 great movies right there. Christopher Sampson, fly me to the moon like that bitch out Scrampson says. Good evening, everyone. A presenter on What Culture Horror asked a great question. What horror movie has the best actor lineup? When Loomis and Wahlberg go on a double date, what do they conspire to show their ladies a good time?
It's a good question, Chris. Good question. But what? Okay, well, let's answer the first part. What horror movie has the best actor lineup? That's such a hard question, though. Like, what horror movie just has everything going for it? Like, everybody's great in it, and everyone does a good job.
You guys are gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna say Scream. Look at the cast. Look at the cast.
And the sky is blue.
I know. Matthew Lillard, Drew Barrymore, Skeet. You know, like fucking that cast was great. Rose McGowan, although she's crazy now, but like, I'll go Scream.
It's a good choice. It is a good choice. Man, that's a great question. Because there's a lot of great horror movies, and they all have like varying degrees of like actors that did their job correctly.
And horror's not cast driven, you know.
But
here's
what I'm gonna say, dude. Yep, that's it. I'm gonna say, and I'm sure there's better examples out there for sure, but Dusk Till Dawn had an amazing cast.
You got me on that one.
It had an amazing cast, dude.
You know
From
what,
top
dude?
to bottom.
You know
and
what?
It also had a
You
great
won.
writer.
You
and a
won.
great
You
director.
fucking won.
Yeah.
You won. George Clooney, Quentin, although not the greatest actor, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, fucking Selma Hayek. You won. You won.
And also, not only that, from top to bottom, dude, like it had an amazing writer with Robert Rodriguez as director and Quentin Tarantino helping him. That's what it is, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, and it had Cheech. If you can find anything cheaper, fuck it.
No, I respect.
And Danny Trejo, yeah.
You want that? That's 100% the right answer.
Mike also has Exorcist. Had great cast too.
Yeah. And so as far as Lewis and Wahlberg on a double date, what do they conspire? So it's Tom
Savini.
Lewis and Wahlberg on a double date's a tough situation.
Well, I think he's asking if you went on a double date, what would you do to make your date feel good? If you were what would Mark Wahlberg do to make his date have a good time? And first off, he would change his batteries. He would say,
"What the fuck?
I don't know. We're all 2 hours in. How long's that battery?"
That makes no fucking sense. I just changed it. God damn it.
No, I know, JT. Tom Savini was a sex machine. He was great. I mean, that movie, I didn't think there was one bad actor. Even the fucking band. Let's kill that shitty band. Fuck you, we're out. Your battery says it's fucked, Mike. Yeah. Mike needs a new camera. No, it was just a battery went bad. It's all good. Robot Gubart says Nosferatu 2024. I haven't seen it yet. Was it that good? Where everything was good?
I like the new Nosferatu quite a bit, my friend. But if Wahlberg was to say to go see a movie, he'd be like, let's go see Fear. I was in Fear. I was a really scary bad guy. I said, let me in your fucking house. Let me in your fucking house. And she didn't want to, but guess what? I fingered her on a fucking roller coaster. And she liked that shit. I don't care what her daddy says. She fucking liked it. Even though I was a big asshole, I stuck my fingers inside of her cushion on a fucking roller coaster.
There's two goddamn movies I would show my date. I would say, I would show you Fried Green Tomatoes. And if you don't cry, then you're no good to me. You're a soulless person. And I don't mess with soulless people, you disgusting tramp. And the second movie I would show her would be Halloween. And at any point, she cheered Michael Myers. If she was on her, I love Michael Myers, I want to see the sequels. You're out. You cheer psychopath? Not my type of lady.
Hey, you ever figured a girl while Wild Horses was playing? I was knuckles deep inside this girl. I was like, Wild Horses.
I think you actually fingered a horse. You're disgusting.
Isn't it the song that played though? Was it Wild Horses or was it like Machine Head? I can't remember.
I think it was Machine Head, or I don't think it was Wild.
I don't want to come back down from this cloud.
It was. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was not Wild Horses that were playing.
Michael says it's awesome they're rebooting Reanimator. I don't know if they should bring back Jeffrey Combs. I didn't know about that. I had no idea they're rebooting Reanimator. They shouldn't though. Like that seems like something that was just like a product of its fucking time, Mike. You know?
That's true. I don't know if Reanimator could work for. I think if Reanimator released on something like Shudder or like a streaming film, it might do decent. I don't know if a theatrical release would work for Reanimator.
Yeah, but I do think Reanimator is underrated in the annals of horror history. Austin says, I was watching Unsolved Mysteries the other day, and it occurred to me that any mystery, be it criminal, paranormal, alien abduction, could have been prevented if the victim was packing heat.
That's true. Yeah, like a gun, like is obviously the ultimate equalizer. You're right. But I didn't know I was going to be kidnapped in the dark, dreary night, like at 2 a.m. So I didn't pack my my pistola. I think that's. But you're right. If you have some John Wick style gun, or you are John Wick, I think that you definitely are going to get out of that alive.
Yeah, like, you know what's weird too, by the way, Austin, this is kind of aside for your point, but has anyone noticed that there are no more stories of people being abducted by aliens? Those stopped. Those stories stopped.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying people were lying about them. What I'm saying is, and again, I've said this before, aliens gave us the fucking internet. You know why? Because aliens used to abduct us to learn from us, to learn from our bodies, to learn from our minds. But they gave us the internet because think about it. If you're an alien and you want to know anything about the human race, all you got to do is hover your little fucking spaceship a little bit close to get the Wi-Fi connection. And then it's right there. How does humans' heart work? What's the mitochondria? What's fucking this? They don't need to fucking abduct us anymore because we gave them all of our information willingly. That's why there's no more.
Well, it wasn't willingly.
Think about that shit.
Well, you know, you're wrong because Al Gore invented the internet. So you're wrong.
He was giving it to the aliens.
No, but I don't. Yeah, like, you know what? One day, I don't know, man. Maybe we should do a stream where the entire stream for like we'll do like 2 hours. We can just hammer 2 hours of just talking about UFO and the paranormal.
I could,
and we could get into that shit. We could get deep dive into that pyramid of
but
secrets.
Why does nobody ever give me credit for that, dude? Like,
what are you talking about?
I talk about it all the time. Nobody ever goes, hey, you know what, Mike? You're fucking right. I haven't seen a single comment that's like, Mike, you're right. Think about it. They gave us the internet so they could keep track of us. It makes perfect sense.
Because it sounds stupid.
No, it's so fucking true, dude. That's why.
No, it sounds dumb.
They run the fucking internet. They watch us from afar. They don't need to abduct us anymore.
No, I could get behind it, kind of, but it also. But they've had the internet has been around. What was it, like the 50s or 60s, where they were like using a very base version of it, and then Al Gore came in later on and said, I invented it with my lock box.
Yeah, because the alien invented them like they do to us in our fucking when they give us our goddamn night terrors.
WK was like, Mike, chill. Chill.
That drives me crazy. To me, that's the single greatest explanation between aliens and us. It's the fucking internet. They know everything. All they have to do is fucking Google, just like we do.
Listen, we need to save that for a show where we're just talking about that, because what I would say is that what is interesting to me.
Thank you, Dildo Swaggins.
Is after the
man named Dildo Swaggins to understand that is mind blowing and that shit's real.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will say that after the Roswell landing, it is pretty strange that all of a sudden there is a swell. Oh, suppose it Roswell landing, right? Because, you know, suppose it didn't happen, but there was a swell in technological advancements out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden, we're able to do things that we had been working on doing forever. Like computers that were all like they had to fit in like a room this size. It would take up, and they were able to shrink it down. And then the moon landing, and all of a sudden, like I think there was a lot of reverse engineering going on. I'm just saying, I don't know. But we could say that for a show. So stop giving it away.
I'm just saying it's the truth. That's what fucking happened, man. Michael Parton says James Gunn's DCU also feels like a mess. We're getting Superman followed by Supergirl, Clayface, other less known. There's no dude, you're right. There's no fucking structure. It's just a fucking I like this. Let's do it. You know, that's it.
Well, here's the thing about Supergirl. I'm not like against the idea, but I remember watching the Supergirl movie years ago when it came out. Was it the 80s? It was all right, but I think that I think that you need to make Superman work first, and then you need to go from there and not really focus in on like his cousin. And then I don't even know why would you put the Clayface thing. Like Clayface is an interesting character. He's awesome, but I just don't know. It does feel very random, like a dartboard that James Gunn is just throwing like at a board. And he's like, all right, well, we'll see how that works. But you're right. There is a lack of structure. It does feel like it's kind of like leaderless at this point.
To be fair,
but here's the thing. I think they want James Gunn to be their Kevin Feige. They want him to be like, I've got vision. I see this whole thing planning out. Is that going to work? I don't know. I mean, he's never done it before. And that's a huge undertaking. Like, that's a huge undertaking for any director to be like, all right, I have a vision for everything I'm doing, and here's how we're going to start it, but you got to trust me. Snyder did it. They didn't trust him. They got rid of him because box office wasn't telling, they were telling tales outside of school, and it was divisive. I don't know. We'll see how the pans out, but yeah, you're right. I don't know. I would not follow it by Supergirl and Clayface. That's 100%. I would not do that.
I'm just perplexed on Marvel and DC side. You have these obvious banger stories, and you go, I don't want to tell that story yet because you're holding it for a rainy day. Like, think about the death of Superman, followed up by red and blue Superman, followed up by Steel. All this, dude. Why the fuck? Even
they will never do red. They will never do red and blue Superman. That was dumb, even when it happened in the comic books. That was fucking stupid.
Just as an example, there's so many stories where you have your mainstay characters, like the characters people really give a fuck about. There's 1,000 untold great Batman stories that have never been told in film. There's 1,000 untold great Superman stories that have never been told in film. And instead, like, let's make a Blue Beetle movie. Like, what if you didn't do all the Blue Beetles and you just actually really honed in and told the big stories that mattered in comic book history the most, and took your time and really made those epics? What if you did that?
Because I think that they want to like ease into the storylines with characters that they're trying to connect with a younger generation. And Blue Beetle, which, by the way, the movie wasn't great. I enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't mind.
That's just an example.
But it was like, but it was also, for me, it was like Shazam. I liked Shazam. I didn't think Shazam was a bad movie. I understand why they're doing it in that particular way, but yeah, you're right. There is a lot of amazing storylines that could be told without having to rely heavily on like the TikTok generational shit and be like, hey, we got to tell like these quick, like, like these Gen Zers that are like, come on, guys. Like, everyone would be appreciative of I think that they should do a Batman Court of Owls at some point. That would be fucking amazing.
The Long Halloween as a standalone.
But these are that would take the company in a different direction because they want to have this all like they want a DCEU. They want a more MCU. Yeah. They're not going to
I really think that they should stop focusing on the C and B players and like tell why that happened. Controlling Warner Brothers and controlling Marvel.
You know why that happened?
Tell the big stories.
I am firmly in the camp. What was his name? Who directed Iron Man? Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau did such an incredible job with. Okay, and here's the thing. Nowadays, everyone knows Iron Man. They love Iron Man. Iron Man is the prestige, premier type of superhero, and everyone wants to recreate that magic with Iron Man 1. They all want that. But before Iron Man came out, Iron Man in the comic books was always second tier. He always was. And I know that a lot of you, some nerds are going to get mad about that, but that's the truth. Don't you dare come at me with that dildo.
This is true.
But it's true. But Jon Favreau was able to take something like Iron Man and make it profitable and make it magnificent, make it gigantic. And they cast Robert Downey Jr., who was huge, and he did great with the role. And it was a redemption story and all this stuff tied in. And ever since then, DC was like, well, damn, they can take second tier characters and turn them into like gold. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was second tier characters. They turned it into gold. There's a lot of examples of this.
That's the problem, dude. They're looking at these tiny characters and be like, how can we squeeze money out of this thing nobody knows about while completely ignoring the biggest fucking storylines in comic history? Like, look at they did Apocalypse, right? In X-Men.
Awful.
But they just like kind of like fast tracked it and like whatever Oscar Isaac. That shit was not like legendary comic book storylines, and they just kind of like 23 skidooed that shit.
Well, no, they
focus on the big storylines and tell the Days of Future Past was one of the very few fucking comic book storylines that they actually did right.
I will say this, but I will say this: I think they did a great job with Infinity Gauntlet. That comic book storyline,
100%, yes.
But that took them 20 years basically to tell that full story, and they did a hell yeah, dude. That's the level
true.
of commitment you want, and that's why you're on this team, Scottie Pippen, because I know that you're going to help Michael. But
why not do an epic like that for everything rather than focus? Let's make a Blue Beetle movie. Like, come on, man. No one gives a fuck. What
happened was the success rate that Marvel was having, and they started getting lazy. They started putting out subpar bullshit. They started putting out subpar CGI. They started putting out subpar plots, and people were just eating that up. Oh, it's Marvel. That's why they got lazy. They didn't want to commit anymore and hire actual good writers and tell good stories any longer. And they also got caught up with like the culture of virtue signaling and all this other stuff later on down the line. Yeah. And they weren't just telling good stories. That happened after Disney acquired Marvel Studios, by the way. It wasn't the earlier on Marvel movies. The tone shift happens. It's gradual and it's subtle, but it does happen. Once Disney acquired Marvel, you can definitely see the shift. And don't get me wrong, Endgame and Infinity War and all those other movies were great, but you can see the shift happening. At some point, it stopped being like, "Hey, let's make a good movie based on these good stories that were amazing in written form. Let's adapt that and make it a great story." You stop seeing that. No. But here's the thing: Marvel's already, and we talked about it briefly, and we don't really need to get too far into it, but Marvel's already got it. They've already got a great story to bring the X-Men in. You bring the X-Men in, you tell that story, you start setting it up for Onslaught. I like Galactus a lot, and I do more than anything. I would love to see a Silver Surfer movie. He deserves. Silver Surfer is so fucking like underrated as far as a superhero, and he's never really gotten the actual nod that he should get in the cinema films. I want to see a Silver Surfer standalone movie. But I would take X-Men. That's the first thing I would have done. Like, and we've already talked about that earlier on in the show. Take X-Men, go from there, set up Onslaught. Set up Onslaught as the big baddie. Have Galactus hang in the back, and then bring him in for the second phase of the new MCU.
I couldn't agree more. Cineroth says, Loomis, tell everyone to brush their teeth. I'm getting a molar pulled on Monday, and it's going to suck. Chalice also gave me pink eye.
I'm not surprised that dirty skank farted on your pillow as a prank, and now you have poop particles in your eyeball. It's disgusting. He's disgusting, and he has AIDS. I will say this about brushing your teeth. You got to brush those things, because I'll tell you what, you don't want to walk around looking like goddamn Larry the Cable Guy if he was a real guy with no teeth, ordering a Subway sandwich. It's disgusting. Brush your goddamn teeth. It takes 3 minutes, 2.5 to 3 minutes a day. Brush your teeth twice a day. You nasty ass shits.
As far as the pink eye allegations go, sometimes I have a lot of Woodford 101, and I get confused about where the bathroom is. Maybe the bathroom's on your pillow. It was your decision to sleep on the pillow that I may have wiped with after a shower, but there was some residue and some left behind, and that's it's really on you. Watch where you put your eyes, and don't watch where I put things where you put your eyes. How about that?
Dude, I gotta say, I 100%, dude. When I just now put this together. When you talk as Chalice, you know what it sounds like when you're getting more. It sounds like Shawn Michaels talking about.
I can see it. Yeah,
talking about like what it was like wrestling. He's like, well, yeah, Brett doesn't understand that it was part of the job, and nobody screwed him.
It sounds like Shawn Montreal screw drop, man. Montreal screw drop. Andromeda says, "Can Lewis say happy birthday to me?"
Happy birthday! You live in a galaxy that will never reach. Happy birthday, Andromeda.
Turton, best name on YouTube, says the Mimi look-alike woman at the end of the Weapons trailer had me thinking, man, the Mary Kay makeup sales reps have really gone downhill. Love you, my sexy diddle sticks. John Wick is a pain trailer. Wow. Listen, that lady at the end of the fucking Weapons trailer, dude, I'm perplexed by that. She looks like Dee Snider's uncle. She looks like
you know what? Literally, I forgot what she looked like. I literally did.
She looks like something from the Drew Carey show. And I'm actually worried about that image, because I'm like, she looks so fucking silly. I'm like, is this movie going to jump the shark at some point or not? We'll see.
By the way, Blu-ray Addict, by the way, thank you, Turd, says Weapons could be a surprise hit of the year. I don't think it's honestly, I don't think it's a surprise. I think that based on their advertising and what they're showing so far, I don't think it's going to be a shocker if it pulls in that kind of like praise.
Yeah, I think we're expecting it to be, man. Thank you, Turd. Man of Tomorrow says when Superman was filming last summer, you could see Superman gift shops in Metropolis. So this rumor makes no sense. Love you guys.
Hey, thank you, man.
I mean, people
No,
can
yeah.
also love him, and then also there's internet.
If
backlash.
like, listen, here's the thing about that particular rumor, that supposed leak that's floating around online. It 100% could be untrue. You're right. But it could also be a very small subplot in the film that's meant to be as a joke. You know what I mean? That's meant to be comedic, and that's what was leaked. But it depends on how if they focus on it where he's mad about people talking shit to him online, then they focus way too heavily on it. It's going to be stupid. But
yeah, it's hard to tell, dude. Mike Barton says, "I've always loved New Line more than Warner Brothers." Like when I see New Line, I definitely get more of a chub than I do Warner Brothers. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I'm there with you for sure, dude.
Well, I think that you're right. I think that with New Line Cinema, I think that when you see the dude, there's something about that logo that's just so fucking sexy, and it just you're in for something like a treat. It could be bad, but it's still like a treat. Warner Brothers, it's like standard. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand. I get it. Mercurio, hey guys, he meant civic guys. The button's closed. It's weird, Mike being on the right and Jay on the left. Also, R.I.P. Lar Park Lincoln, Tina from Friday the 13th. The new blood gone too soon. Yeah. Dude, unfortunate.
Sucks, yeah.
I said this last stream. Like, whenever someone like Gene Hackman, who's in their 90s, dies, I'm like, hey, that's sad, but also like, good for you, dude. You made it to like 90.
Yeah.
When someone like Lar Park dies in their 60s, dude, I think that's a tragedy, man. That's an absolute tragedy. Sure. Tim McChickens. Mike J, Smashing Machine looks incredible. Also recommend The Accountant 2 if you haven't seen it yet, dude. Watched it today. Fucking loved it. I'm trying to get Jay to watch both of them.
No, is it better? Well, like Ben Affleck says, it's better than Accountant 1. So,
you know what? So
you're gonna go against Ben Affleck? Are you gonna lie?
No. Like, I think The Accountant 2 is better because he has John Bernthal and it's more of a comedy and they have more fun with it. Like this movie loves these characters. I think the ancillary parts were better in 1 than they are in 2. However, the love and the buddy comedy that goes on between John Bernthal and Ben Affleck in 2 makes it a better film for me.
By the way, we did see Smashing Machine. It does look incredible, without a doubt. Okay. It looks Oscar worthy.
The trailer at least, but yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, the trailer. Sorry, yeah.
Tim McChicken says, Dr. Chalice, thoughts on Dr. Loomis bopping his baloney at the eye doctor. Listen, whenever I'm in the middle of a doctor's office visit and I pop an impromptu salute to the United States flag, that's all it is. It's men who love their country. When you do get a hard on, I think Dr. Loomis should have offered that woman a reprieve from her daily job and said, hey, I could take you home and I could show you how much I love what you do for this country. And he didn't. And that's on him because he's a giant bitch. And when you hear in the last live stream what his mind went to prevent himself from taking that lady home and give her the Montreal screw job, as he should have, it really is. It's a telltale sign of what's wrong with men in this country. And that's all I'll say about that.
Well, what I'll say is that my wiener works fine. And that was proof.
Apparently, you think about a lot of Jewish people suffering a Holocaust rather than giving a lady a good time at night, and that's a problem, pal.
Apparently, you think a lot more about your not refill of your goddamn STD medication more than you should. You know, here's the thing about Tim McChickens. You come in here, you talk trash. You goddamn, what are you, CNN, MSNBC? You try to take me out of context? I got a boner on accident at the optometrist. It was an accident.
And then you took it to the juice. That's what you did, you sick son of a bitch.
Your whore mouth up and fill it more with cum squeeze juice from that lady. That's probably a man. Suck on that chick dick. A little bit more. Tim McChickens, I don't want to hear any more truth. It's not even truth. I don't want to hear any more untruth and lies from your goddamn chickeny mouth. You French fried fuck. You're not even French. I don't care.
Logan says, which is the greatest game console, PS2 or Xbox? And why?
PS2. I've always been a Microsoft
well, the
fanboy.
PS2 is it against 360? PS2.
No. He's talking about. Well, if you're talking about,
what's the angle?
I think PS2 came out before Xbox 360, but am I wrong? No, yeah. I think so. Or
Was it
PS2.
PS2 versus 360?
PS2 was versus no, I think it was PS2 versus Xbox original console, and then Xbox 360 was first, and then it beat PS3. So in the initial sale. So okay, so you're talking about PS2 versus Xbox. Xbox was awesome, but it was the new kid on the block when it came out. Like a lot of people just didn't know what to make of it. I did not get an Xbox original. I got a PS2, and I had more fun on that machine than ever. Dude, that had so many good. Oh my god, the games on that. It was so fucking cool. It was so awesome. Xbox was great, but not like PS2. Xbox 360, 100% all day long.
Dude,
but
360 was. I'm telling, no one will ever understand what it was like when the 360 came out. Like you went to Walmart and you played like Turok on the fucking 360 and you were like, oh my god, this is crazy. So compared to PS2, I would go 360, but PS2 compared to anything else, I would go PS2.
PS2 is GOAT. But I will say this, Xbox 360, it's not Turok. For me, it was Halo. Halo 3 was the system seller.
Yeah.
That was it.
No, I'm talking about what was in the store.
Like, no, yeah. If you're like on the, but as far as like consoles go, 360 was incredible, dude.
Yeah,
incredible. Even though the Red Ring of Death like fucked everybody, but
oh yeah, like just initially 360 was like, wow, I gotta have that in my home. Gaza says, have you thought about doing a Top Gun spoof as Myers and Loomis? Myers is Goose and Loomis is
that would be funny as fuck, dude. Is that your ejection seat? Whoops! Oh, his neck broke.
Dude,
and he's floating in the sea.
Dude, you know what I thought would be so funny? Do you guys remember like a month ago? There was this dude that was on, like, it was mostly on Twitter or TikTok or whatever. And he was like, my morning routine. And the dude would show up and he'd rip some shit off his mouth and do some push-ups like 5 a.m. He'd dip his face in some sparkling water. And then they would show him on a conference call and someone would be feeding him fucking fruit. And I was like, you know what would be so fucking funny, dude, is if we did this as Myers and Loomis. And like Myers woke up and was like doing the push-ups and dipping his face and all that. And like, I feel like we missed the boat on it, but I so badly wanted to do a spoof to that. And I think we just missed the boat, but it would have been funny.
It would have been funny to do the whole scene where Michael was doing all the daily routine, the morning routine, getting up and like how he prepares for himself going out on the night before Halloween. Like he's getting ready. So he's like doing all this workout stuff, and then he goes to the bathroom and he's like standing in the mirror and he's putting his face on or whatever, and then Loomis walks up and just shoots him in the back of the head. He's like, end of story. Or something like that. I don't know. It would be, but yeah, we probably did miss the boat on it, but it would be like, I don't know. I mean, we'll do sketches later on, but
yeah, they're always, and mostly coming in October for sure. Katie Stout Bottom, we love you too. Katie's the best.
Thank you, Katie.
Hey guys, Katie's been around since fucking day one. And she's always been a fucking sweetheart. And I love Katie so much. Can't tell you how much I love Katie. Turlin says, you guys beat the 2D Realms Halloween. No, we started it. We didn't finish it, but it was
the thing
fun.
is, we want to, well, I think that it's one of those things like we would like to save that kind of stuff for you guys on Patreon when we do a game playthrough or something like that. So that's in the back pocket, as well as that Egyptian fucking scare your butthole off game that we never finished. So there's always those games, but I haven't beat it. No.
Yeah, it was fun. We did play it on a Patreon stream and had a blast though. And by the way, all those Patreon streams, if you guys want to go back, and here's the thing, like I know we talk about the Patreon a lot, but here's the thing. For 5 years at least, every single month we've done a 3-hour Patreon stream once a month where we do dumb shit like play games like that and sing songs and do everything crazy you can imagine. And all those are still there. So whenever we like promote the Patreon, we're talking about, I can't think, thousands of hours.
There's tons of it. Yeah.
Thousands of hours
tons
of
content
that's there. And dark shit, weird shit. Like you don't even know.
By the way, I gotta go pee.
Go pee.
So I'll be right back.
Just gotta pit people with his wiener, and it's okay. Because we're men and we can survive alone. Billy says, new drink game. Drink every time I pick my boogers. Well, we would die. And we drink a lot, as it is, Billy. But your boogers are never ending. By the way, you guys ever do this? By the way, you wake up early in the morning and you feel like you can't breathe, and then you just go in the bathroom and pick your boogers or like blow your nose, and then all of a sudden you can sleep. Is that just me? Cool. I'm weird. JK says, 2007, Chris Benoit beats 100 gorillas if you tell him they're related. Why did I have to be the one to read that alone? Why did I have to be the one to read that alone? That's a fucking sad story, JK. It's not meant to joke about. However, Chris Benoit could have probably been the first dude you threw out, and that's it. I'm going to shut. Jay Tinsel says, how many times have you woke up and been excited the sun came out? Me. I want to finish on my stepmom's souls this time. We'll just take it back a notch. I'm always excited when the sun comes out because I'm alive and I made another day. But then he said, I want to finish on my stepmom's souls this summer. This is disgusting. Like on her feet. Like on her feet. Oh, I gotta get this. I'll wait till Jay comes back for that one. Cideroth. Pop Addies. Well, you know what, Jay? Let me just read this to you real quick. JK says, I gotta unmute you real quick. JK says 2007 Chris Benoit beats 100 gorillas if you tell them they're related.
Oh my God, JK, you're canceled. You're so canceled, dude. You're canceled.
He also says some guy. I just missed. Jay Tinsel said that he wants to. I want to finish on my stepmom's souls this summer.
Is this JT Owsley?
I thought it was. Maybe it still is.
Oh my God, JT. I'm telling you, dude, you live an adventurous life that many of us only not dream about. So you keep on being you.
To be fair, we haven't seen a stepmom. If we're being honest with each other, we don't know what a stepmom looks like. So,
oh yeah, this is not JT Owsley. This has got to be so because he actually JT Owsley is talking about like straight up Alabama, like having a good time with your actual blood relatives. This JT Insel is like talking about like some kind of like fucking Cruel Intentions Part 8 or some shit.
You can put it anywhere. Cideroth says, Charles Loomis, y'all ever had the threesome with the oldies? True story. I did when I was 25. I picked up 2 G-MILFs in a bar. I didn't get robbed and no STDs. Well, apparently people have, that's a serious issue with people in like Tinder and what, like dudes will get robbed. They will have like 2 girls want to meet up and do like, now I'm talking double team supreme, and then they'll get robbed.
Afternoon delight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had that. I've never had that. I've never had a threesome. So I can only speculate.
Yeah, you know what? Truth be told, I've not either. I've never crossed that barrier into the darkness. But I hope you had a great. Clearly, he walked away unscathed, and most respect to you, good sir. You walked away with the evil template of the night, the golden couplet, as they would. Papa Haiti says in Red Dead Redemption 2, which scene would make you emotional? A, Arthur Morgan losing his parents, or B, when he gets TB, or C, when he talks about his son's death?
Ooh, that's a good question, man. I think the part that I got teared up on is when he got TB. That was a really emotional scene.
It's a great night.
I bet it was.
Sounds like it. It does sound like it.
When Arthur Morgan gets TB and he's talking, and I think was that at the train station, and the nun comes in and he's kind of like talking about how I ain't a good man, and like that whole scene, dude. I'm telling you, if they ever do it right, Red Dead Redemption can be like it. If they do it right and they cast it right, it could overtake Tombstone as the greatest Western movie ever told. 100%.
Dude, that would be such a good movie.
It would be amazing. Do you guys remember? I was actually talking to my brother last week about this. Do you guys remember the movie 3:10 to Yuma?
Yeah, great movie.
That movie, I feel like in that vein, doing something with Red Dead Redemption in that kind of like that would work. And that movie, like, I think the part that made me the most emotional is when at the end of that movie, I'm not going to spoil it if you guys haven't seen it, but when Christian Bale is trying to help, he gets Russell Crowe up on the, in the on the train, and he's like, "You did it," and then the bad things, dude. That whole, oh my god. Anyway,
I didn't finish the game, so I honestly have no leg to stand on in this one.
Jay Brook says Red Dead would have to be a show. That's true. But that's right. You could do that. I would rather do that. I would rather tell a show like an HBO Max series or something rather than a movie.
Adrian says Jason Freddy have been gone 15 and 16 years. Dude, it's a fucking mind.
Can we? That's an amen for Adrian. Yes, Adrian.
So much money just left sitting on the fucking table. It's insanity. Also, I have to pee, Jay. We're at fucking Adrian at 7:32. They upset me so much, Adrian, that I have to pee.
Hold on.
7:32.
Okay. I forgot there was timestamps. Adrian says Jason and Freddy were considered out of steam and creatively dry when Freddy versus Jason released in 2003. Might as well call Robert Englund and Derek Mears or Kane Hodder to do Freddy versus Jason 2. It's not like either series are currently in good places anyway. Yeah, you're right. Well, that is the truest statement since Moses came off the mountaintop and said, "I have 10 commandments from God." It happened, and it was true. These are rules that you have to follow. You're right, man. But the problem with doing a Freddy versus Jason 2, they can't because of the legal situations and all this stuff. But I don't think they're out of steam. By the way, when I say legal situations, what I mean is that I know that the Friday the 13th legal issues has been resolved, and there is no necessarily legal issues with Freddy. But I don't know if they would ever get together to do a Freddy versus Jason's Part 2, just because they want to do their own like independent things without the other. But I think it's absolutely insane to think that either character, Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees, is out of steam. There's no way. Like if next year it was announced that a new Nightmare on Elm Street was premiering, dude, it would make so much money. It would be fucking like Fort Knox was open and people were just allowed to go in and steal that shit. It would literally be moneymaker nonstop. Same with Friday the 13th. They're doing that TV show shit. I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm kind of like, I don't give a fuck because I want to see it on the silver screen again. I want to see Friday the 13th. I want to see Jason Voorhees back on the silver screen where he belongs. But here's the thing, Adrian. I agree with everything, but they're not in good place. They're not really. I agree, but I think that they can come back, and it's not that they're in a bad place. They're in no place. Nobody cares, like, because they haven't moved forward with either project. But good point, Adrian. I think that there's something to be said that there's such a drought for those characters to come back, and they're just not. I don't even know what's going on with the Craven estate, right? Because I know that they were waiting around the Craven estate, and they were like, "Oh, we just want the best story," and we'll move forward when we have the best story. But it's just like, pick one. I'm sure there's been a ton of fucking writers that have come up to you and pitched an idea. Just, come on, have some balls. Let's have a good time. Adrian says, also 3 silverback gorillas versus 2 grizzly bears. Who wins? Man, that's a good question too. I recently watched a fight between 2, I don't know if they were black bears or grizzly bears on Twitter, and vicious. I'm going to pick, well, you added the extra. I'll pick the 3 silverback gorillas. On that one, suck that mechanical dick. We like.
I'm gonna go with Jay. Well, I didn't watch that shit, so like you're clearly more.
No, I'm saying I watched 2 bears fight, and it was a vicious fight. But at the end of the day, if you added an extra gorilla into that mix, they're gonna dominate. It just is what it is. Oh,
I'm gonna go with you, pal.
By the way, Adrian also pointed out what you missed was the fact that he said, why don't they just do Freddy versus Jason Part 2, since both franchises are already in a bad spot? And I don't really agree. I don't think they're in a bad spot. They're just not in any spot because they don't. Nothing. That's what I'm saying. I think that they can move ahead on their own steam if they needed to. Like I said, how exciting would it be knowing that next Halloween or next September a new Nightmare on Elm Street was going to be out. Like, how fucking pumped would you be?
Dude.
That would be amazing.
If the Craven Estate and New Line can't come together and agree on just a Nightmare movie, there's no chance in fuck they're going to come together on a Freddy vs. Jason movie. Like, that's just a pipe dream.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, even the Friday the 13th, like, yeah, I'm kind of, it's kind of cool to see the TV show, but I want to see it on the fucking big screen. I mean, I would say fuck the TV show if there was even a chance that we could.
If it was up to us.
Yeah, if Friday the 13th could come back to the movie theater, I don't care about the TV show, like, at all. Get rid of it.
Fucking A, pal. Fucking A.
Oh, you want me to read it? My theory on the film Weapon, by the way, this is from Miss Nicola. Thank you so much. Says, my theory on the film Weapons is the clown/witch is one of the incest children that was bred down in the underground tunnels from the film Barbarian. Interesting theory. Are they tied together?
If you look at the Maybrook Missing website that comes up at the end of the trailer or whatever, there is an article that points to what happened in Barbarian. Ooh. So a lot of people are assuming, and it's a pretty good guess, that they are connected in some way. So that is totally a possibility.
That's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of like what M. Night did back with the Unbreakable movie, and then Split, and then obviously Glass, tied them all together. That's kind of cool. That's pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. If that turns out to be true, I like that.
I like what they're doing.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Miss Nicola. Sean Petitus says, "Peg me."
Sean Pete, I see you a while, man.
He says, "Peg me if you have already, but you should do a worst movie of the year list."
Oh,
well, we're gonna peg you because we want to, but we have. I don't think we've done a worst movies of the year yet.
Never. And this is the thing. Like, no matter how many movies we see, I know for like. So let me put it to you this way: when you go through the course of the year, there are movies that I see come out, and I'm like, I know that's going to be a dog shit fucking piece of shit. Now, I will go see the Blumhouses of the world and the movies like that, but like, it's a two-pronged thing, because like on one hand, I feel like it sucks. It feels like you're being negative, but really the truth is that there's no way you can truly give a top 10 worst films without watching fucking everything. Because to be honest, most of the shit we don't watch is the shit that we already know it's going to be dog shit. You know, like all the fucking bullshit, Peter Pan, goddamn Dog Wash, Pinocchio, Winnie the Pooh fucking movies.
Well,
I'm not watching that shit.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. I mean, they could be unheralded gems, though. You never know. But you're right. I don't want to. I mean, they could be. I don't know. But you're right. I don't want to sit there and watch every single fucking movie under the sun, like we're the Academy, and picking up the best movie. Even those guys don't watch every fucking movie.
Yeah, you could do the 10 worst movies I watched this year, but you're never going to scratch the surface of the true 10 shitty movies of the year. You know?
It would actually be, man, that would be a list. Imagine doing 10. No, well, just that is a list of itself. But imagine trying to do 10 of the worst movies you've ever seen.
At this point, dude,
have we done that?
Yeah.
I don't even know if we've ever. I
don't think we have. It'd be dark, but like at this point, you could pretty much just look at Blumhouse's slate and just pick their last 10 movies because they suck so fucking much now. But that's just me.
Yeah. Good question, Sean. Michael says, "Did you see the chick poking her face up with the fork?" Yeah, and that was disturbing to me. I didn't like that. Like, obviously, she was not happy with her service at Olive Garden, and she was mad about her Alfredo. that like, it's like that kind of shit that like, because I imagine that scene will play out very like normal, like, and that's what fucks with me. Like, it'll play like a normal scene, and then all of a sudden she'll be like, and then she'll just start like doing this shit, and you're like, what the fuck is, like, it'll mess with you. Like, that kind of stuff actually scares me. It's not like the big booger monster in the corner going, oh, like, that's coming.
To be fair, that was basically Jay's ex-wife back in the day when we would go to B-dubs to watch the tournament games, and she would show up with her cupcakes, and everybody knew she was crazy as shit, and she would show up with cupcakes, and then she'd be like, "Jay, nobody ate my cupcakes." That was basically
that was only one time
how she reacted to things.
That happened on St. Patrick's Day, and then we proceeded to leave and go into the parking lot while she was drunk as fuck, and I told her like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And then I asked her a very simple question. It was like, "They're going to go karaoke. Can I go?" And she went. There's not even words to describe it, dude. Like, she went Dark Phoenix from the X-Men. Like her skin became pale and her eyes went black and she screamed bloody fucking murder. Like I was literally stabbing her with a fork to the face.
It's a dark night in Texas.
It was really bad. But anyway, good times. Wild Willie says, I feel like the weapons narrator gives away big plot when she says they left and never comes back, meaning the kids you see are either alien or demons. Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, because they specifically said that one classroom with all those kids and everyone else was fine. And they all decided to leave at whatever time in the night and then never come back. You're right. I mean, it does give away. I don't know if it gives away a huge plot point, but it kind of sets up the plot. Like, you know, that it's going to focus around that particular classroom.
I definitely feel like whatever happens in this movie, they're going to set all that stuff up and then they're just going to take a hard right turn and they're going to go into some weird shit no one expected, which is why I'm excited about it. It's like, it's not like a Blumhouse trailer where you can look at it and go, okay, this is going to happen here. This is going to happen here.
Yeah.
This movie is going to bring us nothing but surprises. And I'm here for it. It could end up a shit show, but I'm here for it.
I like it, dude. I think it's cool. They're taking chances too, because you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this could be dog water. I don't think so, but I mean, it does. I don't know. We'll see, but it looks really good. Andromeda 1741 says recast Freddy in Halloween Resurrection. Who? Busta Rhymes. Chris Brown. Right off the bat.
Dude, I would say literally fucking anyone. Like Busta Rhymes is fucking atrocious in that movie. Like respect to him as a rapper. He was awful in that fucking movie. Anyone.
Like anybody, yeah, you could just say anybody with acting ability. Anybody with acting ability could play that role. But yeah.
And it's Shaquille O'Neal is what I'll say. Shaquille would have been more entertaining.
Say what you want, dude. I had a good time watching Kazam. Was it Kazam? Yeah, and dude, I've rented the video game more than once, Shaq Fu. So
yeah, Shaquille would have been better.
Matt Roberts says, "What's up, boys? I'm in Vegas for the first time, and I'm about to party my ass off, get drunk, and walk around and eat good food. Hopefully, hell yeah, dude. Have a good time. Be safe. Watch your crack hole. Watch your wallet. You never know, and don't trust them goddamn streetwalkers. Don't trust them.
I went to Vegas once, hated it. When my wife had a work thing there and she had to do this thing all day. So I was just like left to my own in Vegas. So I just walked around. The only thing that I noticed about Vegas that's different than anywhere else is that you can walk around with an open container all day.
Yeah.
And nobody cares. Like I walked around the mall drinking like Stone Cold Steve Austin IPAs, whatever. And nobody cared. But like, honestly, Vegas to me is the most overrated place on planet Earth. Like if you have access to a casino, basically you're in Vegas without the traffic and extra bullshit. I don't get Vegas. I've never gotten Vegas. I was so hungover, dude. We had the flight the next morning at 5 a.m. I woke up hungover as fuck, 4 a.m., sick as shit, got in the fucking elevator. And in the elevator, we stay at the Cosmopolitan, right? They're pumping in stripper fumes into the elevator. So when you're hungover at 5 a.m. and all you can smell is, all you can smell is P. Diddy, stripper oil. I was just in the oil. Like I was in the fucking elevator, like, I got to the airport and literally was just trying to like, I got to get a Bloody Mary in me. This is awful. Went up to wash my hands and there was puke in the fucking sink. And I'm just like, fuck. Vegas sucks to me. I don't get it. It smells like shit. It's just a casino. I don't get the point.
Some people just aren't cut out for the open road, Matt. Have a good time. No, I have heard that. People usually describe it as like a Disney World for adults. But I mean, personally, I've watched a lot of people like vlogs of people going to Vegas, and I went when I was like 12 or 13, and I was just, it was arcades that I was allowed to go to, so it really wasn't an experience for me. I feel like I agree. I think it's overrated, and I think it's expensive as fuck to do that. But if you're having a good time and you're frugal with your money, you could probably have a great time there. I don't know.
Let me put it this way. If you want to go to Vegas and you want to find a hooker and you want to do blow, that's probably where you want to go. But like, just as a generic person, if you just want to go have a good time, there's nothing Vegas offers that tons of places with casinos don't.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
It's a place with a bunch of casinos.
100%. If I were in Vegas, like I would go to a couple of casinos, and then I would wind up having dinner at Texas Roadhouse, and I would be satisfied. And they'd be like, you could have just done that in Kentucky by going to the Belterra and then going to Texas Roadhouse. But
all that being said, Matt, I hope you have a fucking blast.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've never gone with like a group of dudes to like
that's probably
let's
what
do
it is.
ecstasy and go to the fucking weird.
Let's touch each other's hands and not be gay about it.
I'm sure that's great. Yeah,
yeah,
I missed that experience.
Yeah, but good times, Matt. Be careful. Nighttime
fun,
says
dude.
in 4th grade, my teacher put on Scary Movie 3 PG-13. That's awesome. Definitely not my 4th grade experience. We were watching
Scary Movie 3 PG-13.
I think it is. Yeah. I think
Oh
my
my
experience,
God.
I think movies that we were allowed to put on back then was like Aladdin, and it was always like basic shit. Like it was always Disney. It was never anything like risque. There was no way. I remember, do you remember what was that dinosaur show? Like, not the baby.
It's just dinosaurs, yeah.
Or dinosaurs. I remember my teacher, it was in elementary school. She asked, you can bring a videotape in for us to watch. And I brought that videotape in. I don't know. It was like episode 1 of season 1 or something like that. And she put it in, and there was like something in it that she didn't like. And she's like, she turned it off immediately after a few minutes. And she's like, now that's not what we should be showing our students. But she was mad at me. And I'm like, but it just shows you like a different, that was in the mid 90s. So it just shows you a different like time.
Embarrassing thing I probably ever went through. We had this life skills class like sophomore year, and I failed the class. Like I failed life skills. But like she had this was literally, dude, this was Miss Lippy. She was Miss Lippy, like dead on.
Yeah.
And my mom, so at the time, this probably says a lot about how I grew up, but my mom at this point in my life was giving me Benadryl every morning, for allergies. But she was giving me the Benadryl that knocks you the fuck out. Like
you can't take
Benadryl.
that. You take that, you can't go do anything.
Right. So she's giving that to me every morning, sophomore year of high school. And I go to life skills as like my first or second class, and she turns the lights down low and she turns on the projector, and it's dark as shit in there. And I'm always like, ugh. And that she was like, you're gonna fail this class. And I'm like, I can't stay awake. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I had no fucking idea. And it's because my mom was feeding, I was like Eminem at this point. My mom's feeding me fucking goddamn benzos. But they had this one class, dude. They had this one class where she was like, I want everyone to bring in a CD that means like explains your personality to you. And like the truth would have been like Blink-182, some shit like that. But like, I guess I was trying to be cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I brought in Limp Bizkit, and I brought in the song with him and like Redman or Method Man, and was like, "Oh, you bitches run him now! Now shut the fuck up!" And I literally played that in like a sewing circle with this Miss Lippy bitch and like the kids, and it was so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why your story reminded me of that, but that's what happened.
The reason why I laughed is because the way you're like, I fell asleep in class.
I got so much shot. She's like, wait, I'm gonna fail you. I'm like, I couldn't stay awake.
My mom's drugging me every morning, and you expect me to stay awake?
Yeah, that was the truth. Fucked up. Anyway,
good times. Take it or leave it says, started a new job. Thanks for helping me through a rough time. I'll return the favor. Watch the Do Ira trailer. It's Robert Rodriguez directs Constantine. Okay, awesome. Du's all right. So it's a Steven movie. We'll watch that. We'll watch that at some point. Awesome. Thank you. Take it or leave it. Nighttime comes in and says, met Tom Savini at convention 2 years ago. He didn't say a word to us. He looked up twice while he signed our VHS for $100. But Kane Hodder was talking about. I've heard this about Tom Savini actually. I think that Tom Savini is one of those guys that you got to catch on a good day, and if you catch him on a good day and you're not like fawning over him, I think he's a lot more receptive to you versus Kane Hodder, who's always like, he's a very outgoing guy. He's very like extroverted. I think that Tom Savini, the thing about Tom Savini is one of those guys that had literally been asked every question under the sun, I'm sure. And like, and I'm not saying that's an excuse for him, but people are people and they get in bad moods. You know what I mean? My wife met him and got a picture with him a couple of conventions ago, and he kind of was the same way, where he's very standoffish. But again, I think also guys like that, they're creatively they're eccentric, and they kind of have a hard time. Some of them are kind of have a social anxiety about them. I get it. I 100% get it. Like again, like I think he's been asked the same questions a million times. I'm not saying that what happened with you was like not like obviously that was shitty. You paid $100 to get an autograph. I mean, you pay me $100, I'll be like, hey, you want me to touch your wiener now or set later on? Like, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I get it. But I think that certain people just you gotta give them a little bit of grace for how they act sometimes. I don't know. He's an amazing guy and he's very artistic. I just think that I don't know, man. He's also in his 70s, right? He's in his 70s.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. I think different people are meant for different things. Like, like CM Punk. We were just talking about CM Punk earlier. I saw another thing about him where he was like, fucking battery's dying again. God damn it, motherfucker.
They must be Reebok.
CM Punk said that he was like, I'm actually an introvert. He was like, for every hour I spend with people, I need 2 hours alone. And these people, and a lot of these people, they do these things because they help pay their bills. You know what I mean? Like, so true. I respect that. But like, they do these things, and you're talking about like some of these people are really introverts at heart, and they have to go and they sit down and they get paid handsomely for it. But I don't think it's fair necessarily to compare someone like Matthew Lillard, who's like super lively and all into
extroverted,
and someone who's just doing their best. But I get what you're saying 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I would be pissed too if you didn't get the experience you wanted. And somebody was signing your VHS tape for $100. Like, that's so much fucking money, dude. But yeah, I get it. I like disappointing. I get it. But he still, hey, it's still cool that you got it though, right? It's still cool that you got the autograph. We got Stone Cold Brennan, one of the best. Yeah, dude, one of the best like guys that can emulate Stone Cold Steve Austin to a perfect presentation. It says says completely random question, but why did our teachers make us watch 9/11 as it was happening? What? Sorry, I didn't have anyone to talk to about this. Does jet fuel melt steel beams? What? That is true. I do. That's so fucking crazy, Stone Cold Brennan, because I remember when that happened in 2001. We had our home room. They rolled in the big CRTV and they were turning the news on, and we were all watching it. Fucking crazy. And I can only assume because it was such a historical moment, a bad one, but it was like, hey, because when that happened in 2001, like literally, you guys don't understand, like that weren't born around that time. The internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now. You didn't know if we were under attack. Like we're literally getting invaded or some shit. Like it was fucking wild. You're watching this shit. It felt like a goddamn Jerry Bruckheimer film. And like this shit is happening. It's not a movie. Watching it on TV. This is literally happening. But you're right, dude. Showing it to a middle schooler, I don't remember what grade I was, or in high school, early high school. Yeah, dude, it was wild.
Dude, I'll never forget that. Like, I think we were in high school. I think I was in high school, but we were sitting there and we're getting ready to change classes, and none of us understood the scope of what was going on. No. We just saw they stopped class, they turned on the TV, and you're right, they forced us all to watch it, but like, yeah, they put it all on, and none of us understood what was happening. And so we were all like cracking jokes, not about what was going on, but just like laughing and shit and just being kids. And I'll never forget, dude, Mr. Riggs, social studies, stood up. He was the guy, your first day of class, he brought out his bat and he was like, and you get out of hand. I got a bat right here for it. That's this motherfucker. He was hardcore.
He was Negan from Walking Dead. He'll bash your brains in.
He fucking ripped us a new one. He was like, "You guys think this is fucking funny?" He was like, "Do you have any idea what you're seeing on the screen right now means? We're at fucking war." And everyone just shut the fuck up. And I'll never forget, dude, going home that day from school and driving home and seeing we passed the Speedway, and all these motherfuckers were at Speedway filling up gas cans and shit.
It was insane.
And to be fair, we've all lived through COVID and we lived through all the crazy stuff that happens in the world. But back then, at that time, shit was calm all the time. Like
before 2001 for sure. Like everything was like the 90s was pretty much an 80s part 2.
Yeah, like, dude, so like Y2K was there, right? And we're all like hyped about Y2K and all that shit. But for the most part, really the world landscape was pretty chill. Like we just kind of lived our lives. There was never a whole bunch of red, blue, like right, left shit.
Yeah, never.
Everyone just kind of lived their lives. We all kind of loved each other. We were cool, but like when 9/11 happened, it was the first taste, basically what we were going to get from what was that 2001, and what is it now, 2025? So like basically that was the first taste of the next however long. That was the first moment. We all kind of lived a normal life up to that point, and when 9/11 happened, it was we weren't used to the world being on fire. Like everything was chill. So when 9/11 happened, a lot of us didn't really know how to respond, and being in school during that was a fucking culture shock.
Yeah, back then, by the way, they didn't call off school for that shit. So you were in class, so you just went to school, right? Like a normal day. Like nowadays, they like cancel school and like everyone would get together and whatever, I don't know, go on Twitter and talk about their lives or go to TikTok and make it about themselves. Back then, it was so fucking wild, dude. It was so wild to see that, and I think what happened is that. Like Desert Storm had happened in the early 90s and we were super young, so we didn't see that, but all that shit was televised, and the war was over in 3 days, right? Like we just annihilated the Iraqi army, annihilated them and drove them out of Kuwait.
Trying to watch March Madness and like, why are they fucking piping?
But what happened is that small worldview that we had back then was shattered, because you're like, oh shit, there's a bigger world out there, and they just like butt fucked your worldview. Yeah, like these people hate you so much they did this shit. I can only imagine what it would have been like. Imagine Pearl Harbor if they had the technology that we have today.
Or like the Cold War when they were doing like the tests.
Like imagine like being in class and watching Japanese planes bombing ships in Pearl Harbor. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It was but it was you're right though. But as showing that to kids. That's right, man. That's weird. That's wild. Like you would have thought they would have like been like, "Hey, man, you need to be calm. Don't show this stuff. Don't upset children because you don't want to like scare them." But I don't know. It was crazy. I do remember that though.
On the flip side of that, when Columbine happened, that was the first time in my life that I sat around all day watching the news. Like, oh my god, I've never seen anything like this. These days, you probably get something like that once a fucking week.
You know what happened? You know what it is? We all got that shit was. Like back in that time, we were a lot more sensitive to things that happened. And then when the internet came along and all the rage bait shit came along and people stopped being truthful and have integrity when they report the news, what happened was everyone got desensitized to everything. So now it just you have a whole generation like, who gives a fuck? That's just another day. But back then it wasn't. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
But it's crazy. Imagine being the person at the high schools, say, in charge of like, hey, there's some important news happening. The person who decides we're going to stop class and show what's going on in the world on TV. When that happened during 9/11, that whoever did that in that office had to be somewhat aware and cognizant of how much it meant. Because none of us were. We were just like, whatever, the world goes on. Yeah, we weren't used to constant crazy shit happening in the world. That shocked the fuck out of all
because back then the adults we didn't know if we were being invaded. We didn't know if this was start of World War III. Like back then you just didn't know. So they're like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like it's not like they could check their fucking Twitter feed and be like, no, this just happened. It's not, it's an isolated incident, kind of. I mean, the Pentagon got hit, and also the other thing happened about them diverting the plane that was going to crash. I can't remember where that plane was going. They made a movie about it, where the passengers took over the plane and prevented the terrorists from executing their mission. But back then, it was a totally different world. Like they just didn't know. Like maybe we need to prepare these kids for what's going to happen. I don't know.
You know what's, dude? You know what's wild? And like maybe this is wrong to say, but like I kind of believe this. If 9/11 happened today, instead of us all coming together and being like, this is bad and we need to like come together, I kind of feel like the way things are with Twitter and shit like that, you would have some faction of people that were like, I agree with what happened.
That's exactly
and like people would be like siding with the people attacking us.
100%.
Like,
and I think
that's
because people have become apathetic and they don't realize, listen, America's got its problems, man. Like obviously, but this is the best country in the world, dude. 100%. Like it really is. I'm not even up on a soapbox trying to be like, oh yeah, America. I'm not even like that. I'm just like, we are so fucking lucky to be in America. Like,
but at least
I'm just saying, but people, but back then people would be like, but back then people will come together and be like, hey man, you attacked our fucking country. all races, all religions, all like people of any sexual orientation came together and was like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Was the war in Iraq bad? Yeah, because it was based on a lot the weapons of mass destruction.
The follow-up was
all that shit was but in that moment everybody came together and like, man, that's fucked up. But you're right, dude. Now with the brain melt of the TikTok shit and the way that everyone is like online constantly. Yeah, dude. Very, very much.
You would literally have people in America agreeing with the attack on the Twin Towers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's what you would have if that happened today. It's crazy to think about, but it's true. What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know. I think we're gonna move on. But thank you, Stone Cold.
God damn it, Stone Cold Brennan.
Gary says, I think we are the aliens because we don't benefit Earth. Kind of like a parasite, right? Kind of like, well, isn't that the reason why in Prometheus they wanted to get rid of us? Because they sent out an experiment. I heard this crazy rumor about Prometheus, dude. The rumor is that in the movie Prometheus, when you watch the movie, you realize that human beings are a creation of the beings that live there, right? And they sent us to Earth. I heard this thing where they were like, but they sent one of their own that came to Earth to help us and guide us, Jesus Christ, and we killed him. And then the guy that woke up on that planet,
why'd you do that?
No, the guys that woke up on that planet was like, no, that's why we got to kill you because you guys are a violent fucking experiment that didn't work. Maybe. I literally there was something about that, like in the Prometheus movie, where that Ridley Scott was telling that story, but it was pretty much like the reason why that guy was pissed off. I can't remember what planet it was, but he was like, yeah, they sent Jesus Christ and we murdered him, and Jesus Christ was like basically their kind giving us guidance, and we were like, nah,
it's possible.
I don't know, it's crazy. Anyway.
It's crazy.
Byron Hansen says Society and Hellraiser are in the same universe. Society, I've never seen Society.
Agree. I don't know what you mean, but I agree with you. I just want you to know that.
Tim McShicken says, you know what? I don't know. Loomis, what happened at that spaceship? Tell us. Or on that spaceship. I didn't get my butt probed. What are you talking about? Stop reading the goddamn magazines, the tabloids at the grocery store checkout, Tim. Jesus Christ. Darth Denomerial, I don't know. 808 says they should go full horror with DC. Depending on the film, I'd be fine with that. It depends on the film, but I'd be fine with that.
Dude, honestly, horror is like a miss. Everybody likes to say the same thing, right? Like Hollywood has no fresh ideas. It's all IP. The only big original things that are happening are really coming from horror. Think about Black Bag or whatever with Michael Fassbender. Yeah. Anybody who tries to do a dramatic action, whatever movie, it fails at the box office. Horror is the only thing right now where they can tell an original story and it could have box office return. Yeah, so I don't think you're wrong at all. It's not a bad idea.
I think that
fatigue would set in.
Yeah. We got Gary. I think we came here as microbes on the asteroid. I've heard that as well. I've heard that we're also like stardust. Who knows, man? Some crazy ass. Like again, we need to have a whole show where it's just revolving around this. Like
we're turning into Joe Rogan.
No, just like, doing it like a one-off, dude. Like that would be fun, dude. Like just full on unsolved mysteries. But we'll just have a good time. Sean Sharkey says, "Hey Slytherman, what's your favorite NFL team?" Well, you know, me really do enjoy the New York Giants. That's my favorite NFL team because they is giants among other teams. You know, they just go about place to place, and sometimes they get defeated, but they always come back more gigantic later on in the evening. You know, don't count. That's a giant. They have a heart of stone. They can do it.
Yeah, but I've been in Slender Man's apartment and it's covered in eagle shit. So I don't know. This is what I saw.
Why don't you take your medicine? Because right now you is being ridiculous. Right now your brain is being infected with HIV. Me don't know though. Andromeda 1741 says, Slenderman, tell us about Jay's optometrist appointment. Oh my god. I should never have told that story, honest to God. But you know what happened? I got a little bit more comfortable than I should have during that stream.
Watch the last live stream if you don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I should never have done that. Yeah, so Jay went in and get him eyes checked as one should do, right? So they can drive on the roads properly. If they need glasses or corrective lenses, they should have them. And he went in there, and this lady came in, checked him eyes, and him little soldier in him pants stood at attention. It stood at attention. It said hello. And he did not want it to happen, but it happened. And that's just a function of biology in the male species. So he did nothing wrong. It just happened. But that's pretty much what happened. Thank you so much. We got Kyle. That's for you.
Pass Ross! Pass the fuck Ross!
We got Motionless Zombie. Hey guys, I know y'all play. I know y'all don't play Call of Duty, but I think it would be fun to do a Patreon only Black Ops 6 multiplayer with Patrons.
That'd be a good time.
That'd be fun.
I would do that. Like we suck so much, that would be a really fun show.
That would be really fun, especially. Can you talk shit to people in the lobbies? Because that's where the content would come in.
Hey,
that would
be
fun, dude.
Next time we're in person doing a live stream, we should just Call of Duty because you and I would get so fucking mad. It'd probably be funny.
Yeah. We got Jack Plays, who became a new member. Thank you, Jack Plays, man. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Love the support. Thank you, dude. We got a big dick guy coming in here with his monster truck. Yeah. Got Lee the Machine Powers.
Lee the Machine fucking Powers.
He says, heck yeah, happy Wednesday to these sexy fellas. Hey, Chalice, get the exam room ready for Loomis. This should be fun.
Listen, I walked in and I'm just trying to make sure that I can get a physical so I can start my job at a new doctor factory because I'm a doctor. It might be Panasonic. I might just be checking things. But, like, listen, I am a doctor. I've just been canceled at a few different places but like if I'm going to be canceled, then I should be known to not cancel your electronics because you shouldn't cancel electronics. And I'm watching for good electronics to go through the chivalry line because I'm a quality control specialist at Panasonic, $8.67 an hour. But I am a doctor, and in Yugoslavia they recognize me still, if nowhere else. So yeah, it's chicken.
You're a doctor of stupid, and you're a PhD in it. And by the way, Lee and Dr. Chalice, there will be no exam room to examine anything. I think you should instead bring a stretcher, because that's where you both will be if you touch me. Jesus Christ, Lee. Go play with your monster truck. Shut your mouth.
It's all fun and games until someone's dad gets their eyes lasered out by a fucking mask in a Halloween film. You know, and then I got to investigate. And I got to figure out why your dad died. And I got to sleep with his daughter. It's just a dumb question, Miss Scrumbridge. We're going to fuck. And that's what's going to happen.
You have smoked yourself retarded. What are you talking about?
I fuck Miss Scrumbridge. I fuck Miss Scrumbridge.
Yes, you did.
And I give that society to America because I give it to the world.
Look at this gonorrhea with arms and legs talking.
Who's going to stop it? I share constant vodka shots with bums on the street.
You share constant needles with heroin addicts.
So, and they need it. Because I'm a man.
By the way, thank you, Lee. Dude, what a fucking legend Lee is coming in at the end zone. But thank you, man. We got Robin Barker, no message attached. Thank you so much, Robin. Michael Parton says, why do you guys hate Pamela Voorhees so much? I don't hate Pamela Voorhees. I don't hate Pamela. I just think that the story's been told. I don't know. It's not that the character's not cool, and the first movie was great, and we understand.
About Jason's fucking mom, bro.
But at the end of the day, Jason comes in, Jason Voorhees, and that's what everyone's going to be hyper focused on is Jason Voorhees. So it's not that I don't dislike Pamela Voorhees. I just think the story's been told, and it kind of defeats the purpose.
She's a nasty mother. She's a terrible, awful mother. We all have them. Speaking from personal experience, we all have terrible moms. And like Jason's no fucking different. Why do we need a whole goddamn show about it? Just let's watch Jason in his mask tear up some shit.
Yeah, I agree. D Mitch says, look up Carl Winslow's Die Hard / Ghostbusters theory. Like Carl Winslow from Family Matters?
That actual guy?
Okay, I will. I'll do it because I'm interested. Gary says they should have an awards category for old people that have no awards, and they should have got one for a Pacific movie they did years ago.
Yeah, specifically a Pacific movie. God damn, this fucking battery
camera
bullshit!
is back on. It's bullshit again.
Fuck!
They should have an awards category for old people that have no awards, and they should have got one for a Pacific movie they did years ago. I guess. I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, what? I don't know, like, what old people though. Papa Haiti says, "Can Slenderman sing Metallica Unforgiven?" Dude, I swear to,
I want to see it.
I know, no, dude, I swear to God, Papa, I would do that. I can't remember the lyrics. I can't.
So bright.
I'm
so
blanking.
bright.
I'm blanking like a motherfucker. Papa, I'm sorry, dude. I can't do that. I don't know.
You got and assume the unforgiven.
Dude, I don't. I'd have to listen.
That's all I know either. But just go. I'll assume the unforgiven.
Unforgiving. You'll come into my place of business when we are closed, and you is unforgiving. I don't know. Sorry, man. Turlington says, fork clip and weapons trailer reminds me when Jay almost stabbed his eye out in the unboxing video. Oh, yeah, dude, I remember that. That was fucking scary. John Wick documentary coming out called John Wick is Pain. That's badass. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I do remember that. I do remember when I almost stabbed my eyeball out. That would have been a whole different type of video. Maybe it would have been super viral, and we would have got on a Tosh.0.
Just do one thing for me. Do Slenderman just go in the whiskey in the jarro, but it's Slenderman. Whiskey in the jarro.
He says jarro in the song.
Yeah, he goes whiskey in the jarro.
God, and he's not even Slenderman. He's just saying that. He's making up a word to rhyme it later on. Whiskey in the gyro. But the documentary called John Wick is Pain, that's pretty cool, man. I didn't know they were doing a documentary about John Wick.
I would watch a documentary about John Wick.
It's pretty cool. Then we also have
what the fuck
the fucking nobody was John Wick. It was the Boogeyman says 9/11 was definitely crazy. I live in New York and actually saw the second tower get hit and fall from my classroom. Immediately thought my ass was getting drafted for war. Scary shit, dude. That had to be insane. Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Like that, yeah, to be in New York when that happened and then see that shit. Oh my God. I could only imagine how fucking crazy that was when that happened.
Dude.
But
yeah, we were all the way in Kentucky and the shit was still scary. So I cannot fucking imagine being that.
But I was such a selfish prick. I was like, how long do you think maybe school will get out for a month?
Yeah, we didn't know better. We didn't know any better.
Okay, so Gary followed up on his questions. Like, for instance, people like Harrison Ford and Ian McKellen have never won an Oscar. So, like, older actors that have never won an Oscar.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, 100%.
Well, both of those guys deserve one. I mean, I think they're both great actors. James Earl Jones deserved an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Did Clint Eastwood get one? I don't know. I would imagine.
Clint Eastwood won one eventually.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, it's good. You nailed it. But guess what, guys? We have gone over a little bit with our time today, but really appreciate you guys. You guys turned out in force tonight.
Where are we, by the way?
No, we're done with the super chats. We're back on.
We're
live.
not though. No, I think we're looking at two different screens because.
Well, we just got one right here. You see the poster for Together, eyeball kissing. I did not.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I was in a different. I was in a play.
Yeah.
I was on.
I did not see the new poster for Together at all. But
no,
eyeball kissing,
goopy.
that's disgusting.
It's really fucking goopy. I'll say that. It's super fucking goopy. Kyle's right. It's good. That movie's gonna be fun to see. And I hope, dude, I fucking hope like people get like again, I want to say over the past month, people like Mike fucking hates every movie. He gives every movie a piece of shit. Dude, like if a fucking movie comes out and it's a piece of shit, do you want me to lie and say it's good? Or do you want me to say it's a piece of fucking shit? Okay. Up to now, this year has fucking sucked for horror. I'm not saying every movie has sucked for horror, but up to this point, fucking movies have fucking sucked dick fucking cunt shit. Okay?
That's
so
it.
like, let's be honest about it.
Yeah,
let's be fucking honest.
Well,
it
goes back.
Glow and come on everything.
I think that
I like
people,
coming on stuff.
Yeah, of course. And who doesn't? Especially when you're drunk at a
on you right
karaoke
now.
bar. You just want to do it. But here's the thing: at the end of the
Put you
day,
right now.
people expect authenticity. So when you want to be inauthentic and give fake scores and fake reviews because you want to maybe hopefully suck the dick enough that you can get free screenings, those are really annoying. And people aren't stupid. Like that's the one thing that our time on YouTube has taught us is that you guys aren't dumb. The audience is not dumb. People that watch your shit, they want like real. They want to make sure that they're informed on a movie that they're going to go see, and it's not coming from a place of a complete bullshit because these guys are trying to get like free screenings or tickets. And that's why, listen, if you don't, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you go through a block during the year where everything you've watched is not up to par. It's not up to standard. Yeah. And it is what it is. We got Eric Hess saying, Dr. Loomis, can you sing the OG 90s Full House opening?
Do you remember it? All right, like off the top.
Oh, the Full House.
Yeah, like
no, I was thinking like whatever happened to something.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's not it though. That's
oh no, you think so?
That was Family
Full
Matters.
House was more.
You know what? Hold on. Hold on.
Whatever happened to
that was Family Matters. Oh yeah, no, it was. Whatever happened to predictability? the milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. How did I get to living here? Somebody tell me, please. The old world's confusing me. Everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there's a heart. A hand to hold on to.
Hold on to.
Everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there's a place of somebody who needs you. When you're lost out there and you're all alone, a light is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look. Don't move. Shoot up, bop, bop, bop. Sorry, man.
Well done. Well done.
Liam Machine says, why are you so angry, Loomis? Eat a Snickers bar. I don't like chocolate, you dickhead. It gives you diabetes. Diabetes. I think that's it. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Did April fucking right. Hey, thanks for joining us this April. All the things that we did. Everything that happened, everywhere you go, everywhere you look.
Now you're gonna go watch a binge it.
That's the one to hold on to. We are going to get together on Friday and film a Patreon review of Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts and Lightning.
Thunderbolts and all sorts of good shit. And then also next weekend, next Saturday is the Patreon stream. The link's down for that. It's not just Patreon, it's also members, so you sign up to the correct tier. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. We love you guys so much.
Really appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys. Peace be with you. Bye.
Peace be with you. Good night. Everywhere you go, everywhere you look.